Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I think sorry for what happened. Sorry for what happened. Just get back to the show. We are back and we are, of course, live. So let me share the link so that those ones who want to join the StreamYard can join. We are back. We had some problem a bit. All right. You can use that one to join the studio. I think that one finds everybody well. Yes. Good. So the stream is on. The stream is on. The stream is on. The stream is on. Just get back. Uh-huh. Thank you so much for coming back. There's a slight problem, but at least we've managed to sort it. So let the other guys also join. I'll just send them an invite. I'll send them an invite. I will send them an invite. It's called Haiti. Thank you for what has happened. We can now listen to the uh, speech of the Prime Minister of Haiti as we proceed.
Who is the
I can see
chairman
Stella
of
is
the
also there.
Caribbean Regional Group, CARICOM. Henry has been in Puerto Rico since last week after gang leaders who've been dominating the capital warned him against returning to Port-au-Prince. Leaders of the Caribbean bloc CARICOM have been meeting in Jamaica's capital to discuss the political transition and the security crisis in Haiti. Let's bring in Al Jazeera's Teresa Bo on the phone now from Santo Domingo in a neighboring Dominican Republic. So what more are you hearing about Ariel Henry's resignation, Teresa? Was this expected?
Well, certainly pressure on him has been mounting in the past few days. What we've seen is Prime Minister Ariel Henry at the time was not able to return to his country after traveling to Kenya to meet with the Kenyan president, and try to arrange the assistance by an elite force to help police officers in the country fight against the gangs that have taken controls of 80% at least of Haiti's capital back then. At the time, he was not allowed to land here in the Dominican Republic. He had to fly to Puerto Rico. He was declared a persona non grata. He was not welcome here in the Dominican Republic. And what we've been seeing is that even though the United States and other countries have been supporting him since he was designated prime minister. This happened after the assassination of former President Jovenel Moïse back in 2021. Many people in Haiti did not want him to be in power, did not believe in his capacity of getting the country out of the current crisis. I just come from being at the border with Haiti, where thousands of people cross the border every day, and everyone we spoke to said that Prime Minister Ariel Henry, or now former Prime Minister Ariel, needs to resign because he's not the person that will be able to get out the country out of the crisis. And as you were mentioning, this happened just after a meeting of the CARICOM of the Caribbean community happening in Jamaica. It happened just as the United States and the members of CARICOM expressed their concerns about the increasing insecurity of the crisis ongoing in Haiti, them already thinking of a transition government they're referring to as a presidential college that would be composed of political parties, of private sector, among others, to try to set up a transition that at the same time will lead the country towards free and fair elections. So certainly there's a feeling that he had lost support not only of his people, but also of the international community. So in a way, his resignation does not come as a surprise.
Right. So a resignation that doesn't come as a surprise. If you're joining us on Al Jazeera, breaking news, the Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry, the embattled Haitian Prime Minister, has resigned this a day after a regional meeting in Jamaica, during which U.S. Secretary of State secretaries have promised an additional $100 million for a UN-backed force to stabilize Haiti. The international force for Haiti has been really at the center of this crisis. The gangs in Port-au-Prince opposed to an international force. What happens now as far as that is concerned? What could happen next?
You provide decent infrastructure to the population. With the right support, we can realize the potential for Kenya as a country.
I think we are now, we are now back. Zalendo was told to start with you, so you can just start from where you stopped. Can you hear me?
The issue was the issue of Haiti. I don't want to go to the
Yes.
issue of housing. Stella will bite me with that. So let me just go to the issue of Haiti. Haiti is controlled by gangs, one, and there's no law and order. It's anarchy. These people, I've seen a video circulating in social media. Some of those gangsters are eating human flesh live, raw, wanachoma ni kama nyama, wanachoma wanakula. So this issue of Haiti, as much as we want our forces to go there, but I believe it should be very, very structured. But again, if there's no any other country coming to help this country restore law and order, so many children are going to die, women are going to be raped and things like that with these gangs. And we'll not have a country called Haiti. Remember what happened in Rwanda sometimes back. The world waited for too long until the genocide happened. So in Haiti, the only good part about it is that these gangs have decided to have their own territories. So if you go to the rural area, there's a gang controlling that particular area. If you go to the city, there's a gang that already has taken control of the city. But overall, there is a powerful gang leader who is taking charge in Haiti. I think the international community needs to join hands, and they should not shy away from the issue of Haiti. And most importantly, Americans now look at Haiti like a place where they have no interest at all. Because why Haiti needs to be stable so that other neighbors of Haiti can have some kind of stability. Because if they let Haiti go the way it is going, then most likely there will be a lot of instability around the countries that surround Haiti, and and other outlawed organizations can find a home to in a country where there's no law and order. That is the danger of leaving Haiti the way it is. So the president's move was very, very good. It was welcomed, but I believe they needed to have some kind of backing from the international community, the international forces like from France, forces from the US, and forces from Britain. That way, they will have some easy time dealing with these gangsters. Otherwise, the issue of Haiti is something that we'll debate for a long time. The American soldiers were there, and they found it necessary to withdraw because of anarchy, and now they don't have a government. Most likely, they will install the government of the gang leader. I am certain that can happen, that the gang leader becomes the president of Haiti. So things like that might happen, and we can't rule out because those gangs have caused a lot of terror to the citizens of Haiti, and they can do anything. So at this moment, SG, I think Haiti and Imamboya, we pray for them to find sanity. But again, not everybody in Haiti is a gang member. There are people who want to live their normal life. They want to go to church. They want to go to school. They want to go to hospitals, and these facilities are not there. Or they are there but not functioning to capacity. So the issue of Haiti is something that needs to be looked on into very, very seriously. More countries need to come in and help the situation. It is a humanitarian crisis in Haiti, and anybody saying that countries should not come in and help Haiti, then they are very, very wrong. SD or Stella.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know what is the problem with our president, and because mimi to me, mimi naona ni kimbelembele, because this should not be. It is not a Kenyan problem. I will say this, and then I'll say this without fear of any contradiction. This should be a UN matter. A UN should make a team of wanajeshi kutoka all over the world, watengeneze polisi, watengeneze jeshi, watengeneze wapishi, watengeneze walimu wa shule, waende wasaidie hiyo nchi. Lakini before we solve our budgetary issue, before we solve our housing problem, before we solve our national health problem, before we solve barabara zetu, ndio huyo sisi tunaenda kusema tutaongoza kikosi ya 1000 nchi ambayo hata hatujui iko wapi. Most of the police we don't know Haiti iko wapi. They even don't know the geopolitics of our place. I was told it is the size of Isioro or Kitui. They do not know. They don't speak French. But here is our president Kiberembere ameita president prime minister amekuja amesign document after a week president hata huyo prime minister ameshindwa kwenda kwao. Can you just imagine wewe ndio prime minister wa nchi na umeambiwa ukanyage huku, rudi huko Kenya ulikuwa. Na imagine you can't. Sasa unatuambia watoto wetu wa 23 24 years wametoka Kiganjo juzi, they don't speak French, ati waende sasa watapitia airport gani? Yeah? So for me, as much as sikupenda sana vile mzungu alitudharau akatuita sisi third world unproven country, yeah, lakini on the other hand, surely we should not be part and parcel of that mission. We should just be a support system, mahali tu tunasaidia, kwa sababu sisi tunakuanga na watu wazuri sana, maybe wa kuandika essays, wa kuandika wa computers to support UN wasaidie hiyo nchi. But hii story ya president sijui akisikia kunahitajika, kama juzi nilikuwa nasikia akisema ati watu wapelekwe Israel, uko na vita, watu wapelekwe Israel. Hii kiberembere itatuumiza kama Kenya, because tunaaibika. Tumeonekana kwa TV, we have been seen on TV signing documents that we even don't know what they signed. The court said clearly that according to the constitution, we can only deal with a country that we have a reciprocal kind of agreement, whereby we help you with your askari na nyinyi mtusaidie maybe hata na bibi kama watu wengine kama leo wajaoa, we get wives from Haiti, and when we get wives from Haiti, we have a reciprocal. But now what are we getting from Haiti, Mr. Reo? If we are not even getting wives, we are not even getting minerals, we are not getting even anything after helping them, so we have nothing to benefit from this thing. It is just somebody who has been told there's some small money here, and then he said, tupa hao vijana waende wakachinjwa huko. That is what is going to happen with this kind. So for me, I'm so sad when I see Mzalendo saying that this is a good move. That yes, we should send our troops. We should join the United Nations. We should not even be a lead nation anywhere. Let us facilitate them. Hata tunaweza kama juzi ninasikia Wamasai walituma ng'ombe wakati Amerika iligongwa, tutume hata nyama, food. It's a way of helping. Lakini vijana wetu wakae Kenya, kwanza tudili na Baringo. Tukitoka Baringo tukuja hapa, kuna simu zinaibiwa hapa River Road. Huwezi tembea na simu. tudini na uto tu vitu kidogo alafu sasa ndio tuende Haiti. So for me it is far fetched, and I think please, I know you have uko na namba ya rais mzalendo, mwambie cheza chini uwanja
wewe unaniweka huko juu kabisa, but mimi sina namba ya rais wa Kenya. I don't support some of his policies, so usianze kuniambia napenda rais wa Kenya, lakini nampenda kwa ile siasa ile anafanya saa hii na ile maendeleo anajaribu kuleta Kenya. Hiyo ndio kitu maana nampenda rais William Ruto, kwa ile maendeleo analeta Kenya, na pia amemaliza hii siasa ya maandamano ile SG alituweka nayo kwa barabara. Hiyo ndio maana nampenda William Ruto.
Mzalendo, nikuulize swali.
Yes.
Nikuulize swali. Hebu muulize kwa nini kuna everything this president akiimplement. Everything is thrown out of court. Shida yake ni nini? Venye SG amesema ni kimbelembele. That's unaonanga all his implementation zote zinakunywa maji, ziko kirai, ni kirai. Kila kitu ni kirai. Mzalendo, you have to understand, if you come with this government, this government walikuja in a cunning way. Unaitanga aje sheep's clothing? Inaitangwa aje Leo, help me. Sheep
na najua ngozi ya kondoo na
ndani
ngozi ya kondoo, lakini ndani ni fisi.
Ni fisi. Mzalendo, I want to ask you one question. Because we started this forum, you have been supporting the name of William Ruto. Fine, it is your whatever. Me, I cannot force you to like whoever you want. Now, I want to ask you, Mzalendo, from this person came with his all implementation. Haya, tuanze housing fund. Imerushwa mara mbili nje na kotini. Wanangojea kwenda a court of appeal. So tunangojea kama hii yenye itakuwa assented, kama akina Okiya Omokutata watairusha nje. Haya, uko na chief. He has defunct NHIF. You have seen 40 hospitals. And these are rural hospitals, not urban. So mtu mwenye ako mashinani, mtu hata akiumwa na nyoka, mtu hata kama amedungwa na mwiba, amekatwa na panga, cannot access medical. Because of what?
Rudia hapo tena.
Sikia, 40 hospitals. They have rejected the... Yes.
Which hospitals are those?
Angalia si ziko hapo, ziko kwa nini? Kwani usomangi Google na siwe unasomaga online? Soma ya nini Business Daily. Soma Nation. Leo you can pull for him.
C40 ni 400.
Just pay 10 bob, you see. 40 hospitals have...
C40, 400 hospitals. In the 400.
And Stella, since you have read it, can you give us the reason why they have rejected something that is so good?
Lendo, long time ago, if I was applying for NHIF and I was paying 1,000 shillings, I was being told this is what you are able to access. Unaelewa? Now, the problem with this, the problem with chief, it is not telling you exactly venye wewe, if you are a household, unaambia utoe 2.75%. Household gani? I am not working. Mimi ni mama mboga. Which payslip are you forcing me nitoe your 300 shillings? Maybe I don't have that household capacity ya cap ya 10,000 shillings. Maybe I make 8,000 shillings. What is the 2.75 ya 8,000 shillings? It's less than that 300 shillings, Mzalendo. Which hospital itaitikia uingie na nini ya 300? Hakuna. Remember, the hospitals zenye zilikuwa zinafandiango na NHIF walikuwa naletewa madaktari. They were daktari who were paid wanaitangwa locum. They were under the NHIF. Hospitals which were being accredited, they were even given funding. When patient akikuja hapo, hata kama aliumwa na mbwa, alikatwa ama alifanywa kila kitu, he's taken care of. Now the problem is, every time wakati unatoa hiyo pesa, NHIF inarudisha hiyo pesa kwa hiyo hospitali ulikuwa. But right now, hospitals, they have not been put in this plan. Now they are saying, if you people you are implementing, where is the funding going to come from? Muri reduce nini ya whatever. Tuko mtu wa kawaida alikuwa anatoaga 1,000 shillings. Umereduce na 300 shillings. Mzalendo sahii Piriton si shilingi moja venye uliachaga Nairobi. Sahii Piriton moja ni shilingi 10. Now tell me Mzalendo, how is a hospital going to take care of that patient? That means the person who is supposed to go to that hospital, he's meant to be covered with an insurance. Who can afford insurance ya sahi Mzalendo? AAR, nini, APA, GA, nini, inaitangwa aje? UAP. No one can afford Mzalendo. And you have to understand, if me, the patient, I'm there, and I'm forced to, see, I'm not forced, I voluntarily tore 1,000 shillings. Your 1,000 shillings, it will pay for my bed. I'll get the Piriton and I'll see the doctor. Chief is not telling you like that. It is telling you the household itatoa. The problem with this Kenya Kwanza Mzalendo, which you are supporting, kazi yao ni kuokota pesa. Hiyo ya chief imekunywa kirai. Imeambiwa imemoviwa mpaka July, because even to date, even the court wameambia go back, go do your drawing nini, public participation ilifanya, no one understands. This lady called Nakumicha changes guard today, tomorrow, hivyo. He has changed that guard 3 times. Haya, hiyo ni tumepita hizo ni mbili za kirai zimekunywa. Mzalendo, we have this thing for nini Haiti. Maaskari wa Haiti, why do you send GSU wametoka Kiganjo? Hata mtoto hata ajamea ndevu. Mumempeleka huko, hata ajui venye Nairobi inakaa, ajui administration venye inakaa, ajui kushika binduku vizuri, munampatia AK47. Do you know barbecue wanatumia silaha gani kuua watu? Then you are forgetting our own backyard nyumbani, we have bandits. We have nini, inaitangwaje, tuko with a lot of insecurities. Our police, even they are not mentally prepared. There are people even they are committing suicide. I believe even most of them when wamefika hapo, I think they are into a mental breakdown because of the culture shock. Hiyo ni kirai ilirushwa kotini, lakini Ruto ni nani? Kichwa ngumu kutumia. Haya, wakaleta ile story ingine ya tututu ya mashule. At each and every parent, mtoto akienda kulipa school fees ilipo through e-citizen. We fought those things, we fought. Shule ikaambiwa school fees ilipo kwa shule na ile pesa inaenda kwa county iende kwa county. Mzalendo, hakuna kitu ya hii Kenya Kwanza inafanyaga kitu ya maana. Juu kila kitu it is always fault. You fought the judiciary but you are fought back. So there is nothing good Kenya Kwanza has done. Kila kitu ni kirai.
Thank you, Stella. Thank you.
Anyway, Stella, you've really
And by
spoken
the way,
well.
kidogo
You
tu
mentioned me kabla uwepe unataka kuongeza ingine. Wacha nimalizane na Stella ndio uongeze.
No, kabla umalizane na yeye nataka kukuuliza swali. Wewe uko na insurance yoyote ya health?
Mimi niko nayo.
Nauliza Mzalendo ndio nimwambie how useless this system is. Do you have it?
Yeah,
does it stipulate how much you are allocated for dental?
Yeah, of course it shows that
yes.
Allocation
Does it
is so much
in patients, ndio? Nini, kwa nini hii ya Ruto unaambiwa tu toa pesa alafu utaenda hospitali? Ni hospitali gani itakubali? Haijaambiwa unatibiwa wapi, imekupatia nini?
Shida ni mahospitali wale wanataka pesa yao, ama shida ni wewe ule unataka kwenda kutibiwa?
No, unajua NHIF was very clear. Ilikuwa inasema hii pesa ni ya kitanda, hii ni ya chakula. Hata Uhuru aka make it better, akasema mpaka ukuwa na chronic disease unapata hii amount. Lakini hii ya Ruto unaambiwa tu kata hawa watu pesa waende hospitali ile iko karibu. How? Which hospital can allow you to come in for that medication? Hakuna. That is why I'm telling you we have a problem in this country.
It is the regime itself, and Mzalendo keeps on supporting it. Okay, me I've no issue, but he has to know everything which this government is implementing inatumia kifua. They don't consider that there are human beings behind those implementation. These human beings, you need us so that you take our taxes, ndio tulipe hizo nini zenyu mnakaa hapo nje, alafu mnaanza kukuja mkizurura mkichukua hiyo pesa mkianza kuzunguka the entire country kukuja kutudanganya kupush manifesto. Mzalendo, let me tell you, just pray God. If this Ruto government sees 2027, I swear, Yesu waitwe Bwana. Lakini sisi tunaona hii government haitaenda. If someone like Ruto can put the country right now, imagine Mzalendo, if I tell you, our country is almost going to a time bomb. Guess what? Hatuna IBC. Right now the IBC is defunct. Mulisikia kwenye Chebukati alipelekwa. So let me ask you, Mzalendo. Imagine we have three constituencies. I think one MP died, a senator, and another government died, and a governor died. Imagine mpaka wale Mzalendo, hakuna mtu amekuwa replaced. So ask yourself, Mzalendo, if I'm supporting, the evil I could go, don't you think hata saa zingine unaanza kusema aje, let me push back, nikae at least ni observe. Mzalendo, 50 million people cannot go wrong with a bunch of 300 idiots in any parliament. 50 million to 300 idiots. Mzalendo, you have to think about it. Think about it. Kuja hii saidia baba, tutakusaidia.
I think mali unataka unaniambia nikuje, yeye tayari yuko kwa serikali. So hakuna mahali unaniambia nikuje pande ya baba tayari yuko kwa serikali, ameona uzuri wa serikali, and that's why he's in government now.
Mzalendo, SG hebu nisaidie. Nadiko report unaiona namna gani?
Wewe acha tumalizane na kitu kwa moja. Kwanza tumalizane na kitu moja. Tunarudi kwa hiyo Nadco saa hii. Hii mambo ya healthcare, umeniuliza swali. Unajua unauliza swali, unasema kitu alafu unajibiwa. Sasa unaona kama hiyo swali umesema, hata me I want to learn something. I want to learn something about chronic illness when you have probably cancer. This the new health system Ruto ameleta inasema you pay absolutely nothing when your insurance is exhausted. Do you know how much cancer patients pay when they have cancer? And do you think that this is something that will help them? Do you think that this is something that will help people with chronic illness?
Unless you don't know Ruto. Ruto says that even help itself. And I'm telling you,
you see, this is. I asked a question. You are bringing another subject.
No, okay. I'm answering how it is not gonna work. It is proposing, unless you have not read that thing, it is proposing an emergency fund for chronic diseases. Do they have a data of how many people have cancer? Do they have a data of how many people have diabetes? They don't. In any case, when you put it vague like that, people can never get healed. Because why? People will go to Kenyatta and say, I have cancer. And then you'll be asked, how do you want me to treat you the cancer? Because it is easier said than done. Let me put it this way. In the so that you understand how vague this thing is. In the university, there's what we call HELP. The government has proposed that the poorest of the poorest should not pay anything. It will be fully scholarship. And it is, you see, it is easy to say that. But let me ask you, I come from Kiambu. Yeah, I'm very poor, but I come from Kiambu. Our place has electricity and stuff and water. And then there's another guy who comes from Turkana. Between me and the Turkana guy, who is poor? It's a Turkana guy who will be taken by the government. We are poor. But yes, that is what I'm saying. We are all poor, but who will be taken and funded with a whole scholarship because of
both of you.
So the thing is, it is not. I can tell you, my friend, unless you are hiding yourself like a proverbial ostrich. Utaambia wewe uko kwa lami, ule yako pale ndiye hana kitu, but at the end of the day, the criteria of doing that, it is not stipulated. And that is what I'm coming to. It is not stipulated how these people will benefit from that. So hii kitu ya kuacha vitu vague, unasema ati watu wakaanza watatibiwa aje na hujaandika.
So unaona, if you argue like that, unajua CDF tunapatiaga ma MP in the name of giving the needy in the constituency bursaries, and at the end of the day, there are people who get and those who don't get. Most of these government proposals or whatever is happening, even with the CDF, you know, there will be some problems at the end of the day. But by and large, is it a good thing? Is it something that you didn't have? Yes, it is something that you didn't have. Is it a good proposal? Yes, it is a good proposal. Is it cheaper than what you had? Yes, it is still cheaper than what you had. Why do you want us to pay an expensive insurance, yet somebody is telling you to pay 300? Yeah. Well, why?
Mzalendo,
Why?
Skia Mzalendo, NHIF, please listen to us, whatever we are telling you with SG.
No, you guys are talking like hospital owners. You know, you are talking like hospital owners. Leave that for the hospital owners and the government to deal with how hii pesa tutapata namna gani.
Listen Mzalendo, mimi I am talking to you as a person mwenye amekatwa 1700 kwa payslip.
Yeah, because you earn more. You earn more than my mama mboga. That's why you're complaining. Wewe utakatwa mingi ndio watu wale wa hapa chini wapate affordable healthcare.
Listen to me, Mzalendo, please. Because you're not, let's not try and put a name to a bad whatever. Please just listen what I'm trying to say. So if SG he's a boda guy. SG anatoa 1,000 shillings. Yeah? NHIF yake. And he's not employed. Hiyo ni voluntary payment enye analipa kwa kadi yake. The government itamkapia 500 shillings. Mimi, the employee, mwenye nakatwa kwa payslip nakatwa 1,700, it does not matter if I'm earning 300,000 ama nini. Then my employer caps it on top of it. Mimi and SG will get the same benefits enye tunapewa. That's why hii pesa unaambia you can access a doctor, you can go for chronic, utapata Piriton, utaenda dialysis, because the government has capped for you juu wamekuongezea. But hii ya Ruto umenyang'anywa kila kitu. Umeelewa? So the hospitals zenye unaambia uende, kitambo walikuwa nakwambia you choose the hospital which you want to go. So they will tell you if you're near somewhere in Kisumu, you're told go to Aga Khan. You choose where you have to go. Any NHIF accredited. Remember, NHIF used to fund these hospitals. Walikuwa wana lease machine za dialysis, walikuwa na lease machine za ICU, because ilikuwa ile government subsidy. But now Ruto ametoa hiyo subsidy. Sasa sisi wenyewe ile 300 enye unatoa, kama SG atoe 300, atapewa tu Piriton na aone daktari na hataenda kulala kwa kitanda. And SG hata haezi enda for laboratory test. Atajua je ni mgonjwa. Ataambiwa tu umelipa, kadi yako haina pesa, rudi nyumbani. This guy atakufia kwa barabara. At least hii NHIF yenye tulikuwa nao, at least ilikuwa ina hold. Inakwambia hata kama umeexhaust, unaambiwa kadi yako ongeza kama top up ya to 20,000 shillings. Hiyo utakosa. Lakini ya Ruto ukiambiwa ukate 2.75 per household, of what amount? That is the problem we are asking Nakumicha. Of what amount? 10,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000? He's not saying. But the problem is, NHIF shift, it is not even telling you what are you going to benefit. Wanakwambia weka hiyo pesa. Hujui kama utapimiwa dialysis. Hawajui kama utapatiwa nini ukikuwa admitted, kama kitanda yako itakuwa covered. They don't tell you whether you are going to see a specialist. Mzalendo, there is a lot of things which you can see in this shift. It does not make any sense. Mzalendo, enda kwa Hansard ya National Assembly. Fungua hiyo kitu, utaona hizo vitu za chief what they were proposing. It is not making any sense. Hata ukisoma, it is a 28-page document. Mzalendo, check on that document. Don't come here and start asking us the vitu zenye wao una assume America you are getting advantage. Here in Kenya, it is way different. And I'm telling you, Mzalendo, the past regimes, we enjoyed going to hospitals. Right now, going to hospital is a crime. Because wataanza kusema pesa yako ni kidogo, enda. Please, Mzalendo, just go through the Hansard. Usiuko na Google. Angalia National Assembly. Angalia the bills which have been passed. Ama proposed bill kwa Hansard. Download na usome na ni PDF.
Anyway, let me give Julia, I'll come back to you. Julia, karibu sana to the discussion.
Asante. That is a very good debate that people are having. I think it's very broad. Na wacha nianzie, okay, niguzie kidogo tu maneno ya NHIF. I think when Uhuru was president, even I think just 6 months ago, I mean, even some time back, I had a patient who was taken to, I think those days were paying 500. Still, I stand to be corrected because those who are unemployed were paying 500. The
Yes.
unemployed people are paying 500. And she was able
Yes.
to use NHIF in Kejabe Hospital, private wing. And then she needed MRI in German hospital, which was costing 45,000, and HIF covered that. And that patient was being treated for cancer. So Mzalendo, roadside declaration ya Ruto na cancer asituletee ashitushtue na the Kenyan doctors have seen cancer. Isiyo yeye amegundua cancer ama amegundua nini. The Kenyan doctors have been attending to cancer patients even without NHIF before Ruto makes that roadside proclamations. Now, another thing, your proclamation na hii nimesikia SG akisema maneno ya ati the poorest will be funded. It is those things are only done by people who don't want to be held accountable. So they make roadside proclamation without structures. Now, I am a beneficiary of help. I'm a beneficiary of help. And even Ruto himself is a beneficiary of help. Now, how was the government of Kenya working with education? It was simple. Kama ungepata cut off your university, you are called a government-sponsored student. So courses that other students private students were paying to the tune of 100,000 per academic year, the most you could pay was 16,000. And even that 16,000, 8K tayari bado ilikuwa inalipwa na serikali. So in the long run, the net tuition fee ilikuwa kitu kama 8K. Alafu, on top of that, when I went to college, you could be given ilikuwa inaitwa boom to the tune of 42,000 Kenya shillings cash. So that you budget for your accommodation na books. Na tulikuwa na book allowance ya 2K kwa bookshop. So that was for every academic year, not 4 years, for every academic year. And the help was so affordable. Hata sikumbuki nilimaliza kulipa lini. I paid without strain. And nikasahau na nikapewa help certificate. So what I'm trying to say is, and that one happened up to and including last year up to and including 2022 before Ruto became president. So there were structures. It was just clear. If you qualify, mpaka 2022 ilikuwa C+ because we had very few C+. If you qualify to be a government-sponsored student, first and foremost, you received a scholarship from the government. Haikuwa ati unaenda kutetea mtu ama kuongea na chief ama nini. Inakuwa a big proportion of your university education is funded by the government, irrespective of the degree you are taking, whether you are taking medicine. Medicine is one of the most expensive degrees. Naendanga mpaka 500K. Haikuwa ati then after that, after being sponsored by the government, ndio ulikuwa unapewa help. Help was not part of the tuition fee. Help was given to support you to kama malazi na nini. Lakini tuition fee, the government will meet more than 3/4 of the tuition fee. Sasa wanafunzi wa medicine, they could pay also 16,000. Na 8,000 wanalipiwa. So wanafunzi wa medicine na wanafunzi wa education na BA, they were paying the same thing. You only needed to meet the cutoff point. And then you didn't need to go to the chief to apply for help. So up to and including 2022. Now, Ruto comes and dismantles help, dismantles the whole education system. Ametoa funding kwa university, ametoa hata capitation. Ameinterfere na capitation ya high school education. Now, how was high school education operating? Up to including 2022, first and foremost, the government was funding one, tuition for high school kids. How? One, notebook walikuwa napewa ratio of 1:1 for 12 subjects because watoto wa high school form 1 wanaingia 12 subjects. Secondly, walikuwa napewa textbook for every subject ratio of 1:1. I have evidence. I have been on the ground for many years, so sisemi kitu ya kuambiwa hapa, and I think Stella will confirm with. I'm talking about public schools.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the government was sending money, hiyo inaitwa capitation, ya kulipa a fraction of the support staff, and also ya kufund vitu kama labs, and that Uhuru was affording, Kibaki afforded. So then Ruto comes in, suddenly he cannot afford all this. Huyo si mwizi. Haya. So let's go to the motion of the day. Let me ask myself a question. I have very close friends from Erega Marakwet right now who don't want to see Ruto, because people are still dying in Erega Marakwet from bandits and Baringo. Now ni Wakari, hata si Wakikuyu ama Wajaluo. I'm asking myself, if bandits with those handguns, bandits na handguns, ziko uko Rift Valley, wameterrorize serikali mpaka ni kama serikali imeshindwa na bandits. How? And this is our land, where we are expected to know the geography of our land, where even the chief knows who is who. Yani yule chief wa pale Erego Marakwet na kule Pokot na kila wanajuana who carries, who has guns, how many guns in their house, who is capable of stealing somebody's cow, who is anyone, what Kenya tu wanajuana, but the government is not able to manage that. Now, Mzalendo, you won't tell me, I don't know how many Kenyan tour boys and girls we are taking to Haiti. We were going to land in Haiti, in a land where we don't even speak their language, and manage those thugs. And those thugs yet come out bandits. So I want to conclude by saying that when Ruto was the deputy president, I seriously thought he had some brains. I seriously thought he had some brains. I thought he had some brains first for stealing, but I also thought, I thought he had some brains. All along, I thought he had some brains. But now my conclusion is, either his brains have left him, or he has never had brains at all. Because common sense tells you that Haiti thing is just sending our young boys and girls to a massacre. And then we shall just, why can't Americans take their own police? Americans are the most efficient. They're the most, they have some of the most efficient. In fact, the law enforcement in this country, hakuna kitu unaweza fanya upotee tu usijulikane umeenda wapi. Ayu inakuanga ngumu sana. Even people who are murdered, they always, even these cold cases, they keep solving those cases. They will spend years trying to solve those cold cases because they are usually determined to solve them, to resolve them. So America has some of the highest, well-trained law enforcement system. So why they can't take their police there? Because I don't think their law allows them to do so. Okay, so and they are not, and their parliament is not going to dance to that foolishness. So Ruto, what does Ruto expect to gain by taking our police there? He wants to please Joe Biden. Okay, so he doesn't care about our young boys and girls. So sometimes I think either it is foolishness or selfishness, or both foolishness and selfishness combined, and a don't care attitude. Mkufe, musikufe. Hata hiyo maneno ya magonjwa Mzalendo anasema there will be nothing, there will be no NHIF. Now, Stella was saying about 40, it is 400 hospitals said they are not taking NHIF card. That is what they said. Reasons, the government is not remitting the money and the payment. So, as Stella was saying, whether Baba joins Ruto or not, Baba should just go to Addis Ababa, now mind his own business. I'm a AU chair, because with or without Baba, this government is collapsing. Asante. Nimemaliza.
umemaliza kweli on a high note that this government is collapsing. Julia, this government has just begun, and don't be a pessimist thinking that this government is collapsing. This government is not going anywhere. I wish you could go back to when Ruto was the Minister for Higher Education, the things that found you in Kenya, the things that he implemented, and people are benefiting up to today. Go back to when he was the Minister for Agriculture. I know you'll bring go back and look at the standards he set when he was the minister. Anything that he touches, this guy is very, very thorough. That is, don't underestimate him. And the issue why there's a lot of politicking in each and every issue that Ruto is bringing on board, because they are new to you. There are things that you've never seen. There are things that are ambitious. The Ruto care is ambitious, just like Obamacare. Obamacare, every other Republican refused, and they didn't want it. Just the same way you're behaving today. They didn't want it. So, but at the end of the day, it is helping the poor who cannot access and afford medical care. This noise you'll find it mostly from civil servants who are having.
Kindly, when you say he did something on higher education and agriculture, it's good to emulate that so that we also credit him. You know, just tell us what he did.
Yeah, because you know, just the same way I tell you that just the same way you've been telling me, make internet Google and find out what he did. Just the same way, if you want to learn more about Ruto, find more about him before you talk. Me, I've researched more about.
No, Mzalendo.
That's why I'm telling you.
I mean, please be specific. What he did. Be specific. What he did in higher education. Just say two things that he did that had not been done.
When you finished high school in and you passed to go to university, how many years did it take you to join university?
One only.
It took you how many years?
One. I didn't even take one because
I never took a gap year.
Yeah, because I finished in October, and in the next September I was in college. So what is the difference? What did Ruto do?
The next year, that the person who implemented that was Ruto.
No. I was not in the list of
before.
Hey, and you're a comedian.
I was before. Stop lying, Mzalendo.
University ama you took a gap year. Mzalendo gap year ni wewe unataka.
Ukimaliza exam ya kuingia university ulikuwa unakaa nyumbani miaka ngapi ndio uingie university ama mwaka ngapi ndio uingie?
It is your choice, Mzalendo. It is your choice, because by the time umemaliza high school, you have a choice to take a gap year. You can either go for parallel, because parallel require immediately after finishing Form 4, or you decide to go for a college. Then you wait for your intake, either in this one of the public university. Mzalendo, don't try and tell us.
No, I'm telling you, Ruto ensured 100% transition and a smooth transition from high school to university. You go find out and read about it.
Gap year hiyo ilikuwa choice yako, Mzalendo, because me, Julia ama SG, I know when you finished your high school. First ulikuwa mnaambia na mdogo wako enda uapply help, then uende ile college utakuwa hiyo September hiyo for the year yenye uko, that is when kuko na intake, na intake ilikuwa inakuanga September na April for these public universities before they started bringing private university. But if you wanted to fast track your university, ungeingia parallel, ulikuwa unasoma marathon au uko una take any break.
Parallel imekuja juzi bwana. Parallel private universities were not there.
Okay, Mzalendo, number 2.
Unaongea mambo ya parallel ile imekuja juzi na private universities zile.
Goja kidogo parallel juzi niambie ni No, which university inapeana parallel?
At
Which
what?
university? Which
Swali
university
gani?
inapeana?
Hiyo ni swali gani
Hapana.
unaniuliza? Nairobi University gives parallel
No, you know, not
has a
all
parallel
universities are giving
program.
parallel.
Most of them ziko na
No,
parallel
not
program
all
sahi.
universities are giving parallel.
Hmm?
Which university gives parallel? We are waiting.
Parallel what?
Which
Are you-
university?
Mzalendo hauko in
No,
touch.
which
We no longer have
university
parallel
inapeana
right now.
sahi? Ulituambie.
Saizi as we speak or ama kitambo. Mimi niliwacha kama Nairobi University Moi inapeana parallel.
No, which
Oh.
universities?
Kwa hivyo wewe mzalendo ni mtu wa parallel. Sasa nimekuelewa.
Ah.
Second question. Which
Enda
mzalendo?
Kuna watu wengi sana wameniambia wamesoma parallel university.
Ai, mzalendo wache uongo. Parallel
Haya.
ilikuwa ya only parallel ilikuanga ya law school, business administration na na gani ingine. There's this other one. It's called what? It's called what? And they deal about with social something. They are for only whatever 4 of them. But medicine, engineering na nini ulikuwa unaingia university kawaida. Na ilikuwa ina apply on September.
Sasa umeuliza which university inapeana parallel. Sasa
Agape. Zalendo. Ruto hakuna kitu aliimprove. Hakuna.
Haya, sawa, wacha tuache hiyo. We'll come back to the draft debate. Wacha tuendelee na sasa. Wewe umesema Ruto hakuna kitu ile alileta katika sekta ya elimu hizi kwa
agriculture. Ngoja agriculture ileta nini tusikie?
Wacha kuniuliza. Mimi nimekuambia agriculture, Ruto was voted the best agriculture minister ever.
Oh, wait a minute. Wacha alikuwa flower boy. Alikuwa flower boy kwa sababu let me tell you mzalendo, the past government and this regime is very different. Hiyo siku alikuwa minister, hakuwa CS. And remember those times implementations zilikuwa zinatengenezwa, yeye tu alikuwa hapo kupiga sahihi na kukua flower boy. Everything was put in tech. So hii ingine sasa mtu anakuja anaandika legal notice. Unaona mpaka saa hii hata CS anaandika legal notice without even kuuliza venye itaumiza itaumiza mwananchi. Mzalendo, you have to sit down and check the ministers wa kitambo na CS of wa saa hizi, the way they are behaving. Everybody is rogue. Hakuna mtu mzuri. Ona Kindiki ametuongezea passport. Ati kuchukua ID ni 1,000. Mzalendo, it is not a crime for me to be born in Kenya and die in Kenya. Why are you charging a death certificate 1,500? Na ilikuwa kitu ya nini 20 bob ama 50 bob? Passport ya 32 pages. How much was it? Yeah, but
wewe unataka kulipa hizo rate za ukoloni bana. Vitu zimebadilika bana. Even that paper for printing is become expensive. Sometimes these arguments are
Mzalendo.
Sasa karatasi ile ulikuwa unanunua in the 60s, you still want to buy it at 50 cents.
Surely. Why should you buy for nationality? That is the question. Why am I paying taxes?
And why is your nationality expiring? Why is the nationality expiring?
Even a free ID in this world. Give me which country?
You're giving me an
country where you are given a free ID where you don't pay anything. Give me just one country.
Mzalendo, I wanted to ask you.
Yes, you put the argument. Give me one country where you are given free identity card. Umezaliwa hivi, we shika hii yako ni free without paying a single cent. You're all quiet. Okay, tuendeleeni. Amna.
Na kugogolia ni nyingi. Unajua, let me tell you. We cannot have it overhead, but I can tell you the thing is you have to protect. There's what we call social protection of a country, whereby you do not overcharge your people because of basically being born in that country. You don't give an idea and then say there's an expiry date at the end of a day. It doesn't make sense to anybody. Why is there an expiry date in a country you've been born? Number two, I wanted to ask you something. If I ask you today, what did give me two things Matiangi did? Would you get them?
As what? I think one thing I acknowledge that he did effectively when he was the Minister for Education.
Yes.
Yes, the process of marking those exam papers, people got them in time. It was shortened, and although there are some people who were arguing here yesterday that during his tenure as the Minister of Education, in some of the exams they did, almost everybody scored the same marks. So he has got his shortcomings. You would be looking at it from what we read, but from people who have worked with him or people who have sat on those exams, they'll tell you that he did a bad job. So that's the way it is. So everybody cannot be perfect. No government is perfect. Mm.
But the good thing is that you can identify 2, 3 things Matiangi did. You can also identify 2, 3 things that explicitly Michuki did. And this is what we want. We don't want second guessing where you're saying, a higher education at one point, this person did this. What do you call it? In agriculture. We know that when he was the minister, well, by the way, what I know, when he was the minister, despite I don't know who you said who voted for him.
Oh.
Kenyans. There's something you said he was voted the best ministers of
Yeah, he was
agriculture.
voted the best minister, but it was the minister for agriculture. The implementations that he
By
did is,
who
I
voted
mean,
for him?
you know, these statistics are done everywhere. Sinovet, Kinanani. You look at the ministry that is performing so well. I mean, why do you want to go there?
Uh,
So long as
yes.
farmers are getting their money in time, and fertilizer we are getting in time, and there is a bumper harvest throughout his tenure. That is the most important thing. So there's
So
nobody who did that. So when he did that,
anyway,
then he was
anyway,
voted the best.
anyway, nataka umalize show, but the thing is, nataka kulala. Um, this guy is a total failure.
Oh,
He's a, and whatever he touches inaoza.
Hiyo ni
Akiguza
ukweli.
akiguza
inategemea SG mali huko. Unajua ukikuwa pande
akiguza education sahii watoto waendi shule. So many kids are not going to school. In fact, let me tell you, like the latest information I have is that over 300,000 kids did not transit from primary to secondary, and
that happens every year.
the universities that the kids who are being sponsored to go for a government sponsored students in private institutions wametolewa wote. I was in St. Paul's the other day. I schooled there, nikakuta wale watoto wote walikuwa wanalipiwa na serikali waliambiwa warudi nyumbani. It is a sad situation if you go to schools and see what is happening. There is absolutely lot of kama like there's a school in Odheru Primary School where one class has over 100 kids, and the reason is many parents have opted now because they cannot pay for private institutions to take school kids, all of them to public. So it is overwhelming, but the government is not even concerned. All what they are worried about is Benny Hinn to come to Kenya. Yeah, they sponsor those things, and then they get out of there where they wear belts that are 450. Others are wearing watches of 3 million, and they are going around the country sponsoring soccer, millions of shillings in a chopper. Mara they are wanaanguka na mandege. It is very interesting government. But for the last 2 years, there is nothing Ruto has done, and there is nothing that anybody can say on the ground that in fact, nobody feels as if Kenya has a president.
We don't.
Nobody. We don't have a president. What we have, it's a banner. That is why you see even when he's in a meeting somewhere, there is a lot of noise, because they don't feel the presence of a president. Because what he says in today, it's not what he's going to say tomorrow. He talks about things that are so theoretical that you ukifinya computer you'll get dollars.
Imagine.
those things that a president should not even say. Yeah,
Yes,
he's so many small. I mean, Muzarendo, I pity you because I think wewe ndio brain zako zimechukuliwa na Ruto. Na kama
You
ningekuwa
SG.
na mimi ni mhubiri, I will look for you one of these fine days. Even the US, I can come. I think it is something. It's an 8-hour flight. I just come pray for you.
SG.
Nikuwekelea mikono na nikugonge na Bible. You know?
SG. Alafu
Yes.
mzalendo anatudanganya hapa ati Hustler Fund 1 billion. Hebu nikuulize 1 billion namna gani? Ukijaribu kufanya matrix, it does not make any sense. We are 50 million Kenya. We are 50 million Kenyans. So that means 1 billion kila Kenyan alipewa 100,000 kwa Hustler Fund. What a lie.
Uongo.
What
It's a lie. It's a
Mzalendo,
white
that's
lie.
a lie. Mzalendo,
White lie.
as Kenyans,
White
sisi
lie.
ni werevu. We know. Mzalendo,
you know it depends on it. Unajua, if
By the way,
if you want to see faults in Ruto's government, it depends on where you are. You are doing your role perfectly.
By the way, unajua amechukua shamba hapa Naivasha.
Shamba ya maua.
Ameiba hapo. So vitu zingine tu ameiba.
Sasa si hiyo ndio mnaleta in public, tunasema Ruto ameiba shamba na akiiba mlikuwa wapi?
Ameiba.
Ngoja kidogo.
Tulikuwa tu lakini si ako na jeshi. Sasa kumdu ako na jeshi huwezi mpiga.
Anyway, SG, I think Leo is not here, so I might just Stella, I think we need to give you your last word before we wind up the program. Naona Leo ni kama amelala.
SG.
Yes.
Did you see how Ruto was humbled by Raila when walienda kuona nani Museveni? Me, I told Leo.
Ati Ruto was humbled. Yani wewe unaongea nini ama ni nani ndiye was humbled? Yani who has got access to Museveni? Is it Ruto or Raila?
Was humbled by Raila. How do you go to a mediator like Museveni?
I'm asking you. Who has got access to Museveni? Is it Ruto or Raila?
Ruto was humbled.
By who?
Everybody should know that Ruto was humbled by Raila's pressure. And I'm telling you, Raila is so powerful, he will humble you.
Wacha hizo stories za jaba hapa.
Alihumble Uhuru. And he humbled nani? Ruto. I'm telling you.
To what?
He supported his pressure.
You know, it is sad when you like that kind of scenario and so many people died. So many people died in the name of trying to find affordable, trying to reduce the cost of living. Then somebody comes up and tells you that he's going to weigh you. And then you are busy clapping that he was humbled. Humbled for what? He has forgotten what he wanted to do for the country.
Listen,
he was addressed.
No, mimi nauliza tu, yani that picture. Do you know how many people died in Kisumu?
Okay.
And look at the NADCO report. Is there any issue of the cost of living? So sometimes when you clap for your leader here, it is sad. It is very, very sad.
No. Not go report.
No, people died for Raila's sister to get a job.
But those are martyrs. If you died for defending.
So they are martyrs. They are martyrs. They are dead, and then now we work with the same government that killed them.
No, the people who died fighting for their rights, those are martyrs.
And then
then
you work with the same government that killed them.
Who killed them? Are you trying to say alichukua nini akauana? Those people chose to go and cry for their right, and they died as martyrs. And let's respect that. Now let's not use NADCO report and try to politicize. That was between Ishugwa and Kalonzo Musyoka.
So
no, there's
what
nothing like between Michuku and Kalonzo. That report was given to the principal, Baba and William Ruto. By the way, if you didn't get the politics behind NADCO, it was just to manage you people.
Listen to me. 70% of the guys who are on opposition, they have refused that report. Wamesema Kalonzo wacha tuseme tu ukweli.
Ati Kalonzo alienda kwa akaongwa and Raila is saying that report should be...
Hapana, alienda alihongwa. How dare you tulienda tukasema this is our party?
Wewe unasema nini bwana? Ebu jisikize. You are talking with two sides of your mouth. Unasema...
I am not talking two sides of my mouth. I've told you Kalonzo was washed.
Was washed how?
No, listen. Before ilikuwa bipartisan talk.
Yeah.
What did we say as wananchi? What did we need for the cost of living and the tax burden to be reduced? Then we said that we wanted some offices to be reduced because they are nonsensical. But what did akina Kalonzo and Nanikemani Ishungwa did? Walienda wakakunywa chai ya 4 million, wakaenda wakatengeneza hiyo story behind with the absent na akina Eugene Wamalwa and the rest of the akina Opio Wandai when they were there. They said this is not the report and tulienda could discuss.
Baba has said that report should be implemented without even a comma. What are you talking about?
No,
yeah.
Hakusoma.
Sasa alisoma aje na watu wake ndio walikuwa hapo wana negotiate. What do you mean?
Let me tell you, 70% of the opposition they were against it. Akina Eugene Wamalo walikuwa
not 70. If Eugene is against it, it's not 70%. Baba is always right. All right? Baba is always right.
Mzalendo, ubaya yako utakaji kusikia. Na kitu ya kwanza nimekuambia. Eugene and 70 others, they said this document is not what we had discussed.
Who are the 70 others? Who are these 70 others? Are they in parliament ama wako wapi?
Uko na internet hapo unaweza soma. 70 and others wakasema that is not the report and tuko tumeenda kuimplement. And this is what it ilikuwa. Kwa hivyo the original blueprint, Kimani Ichung'wah has to tell us kwenye hiyo blueprint iko. Mzalendo, when we Kenyans were telling you, if these people are saying this is not whatever we're saying, because we know how this regime is very cunning. So
Stella, let me ask you a question. Stella, let me ask you a question on a light note. Let me just ask you a question. I know you'll answer this properly. Do you think that that sitting, ile hao jamaa walikuwa wanakaa pale and writing whatever they were writing, was it legal?
It was legal.
Or was it binded? Was it a legal? Is the NADCO report a legal document?
It's not a legal document.
Then why do we...
Wait a minute. When I do a legal document, Nzalendo, everybody should sit and agree and say, yes, this is what we had discussed. And remember, when you're doing a report, you must have the first, second, third, and fourth. Then you have something called a blueprint. And you go again and you start ticking and Xing the boxes. But people like Eugene Wamalwa and Akina Opio Wandai, they were like, no, this is not what we had discussed. Mzalendo, when people are going against that and everybody knows that this regime is wongo, remember, everybody will everybody will run where the tree is falling. So that means here an article report when they are against it, they are going to be given allowances. It tells you what? It tells you what? That was not the correct document. Now I'm telling you, Mzalendo, listen to me when I tell you, when I'm here, I know what people are talking. And we can even see even these people, when they are doing this thing, most of them even they work in parliament. I have friends.
Then why did Baba agree on the report? Why did he agree that this report is the best and this is something that should be implemented?
Let me ask you, Mzalendo, kuna vitu zingine saa zingine unakaanga hivi chini, wataka kubelieve Kenya unaambiangwa. Mimi ndiye nitakwambia watu wenye wanakuanga hapo hata walikuwa wanafanyanga hiyo legal drafting. They are saying that was not the blueprint. The blueprint yenye ilikuwa imeenda kufanyiwa iambiwe this is the final one and uprint. Unasikia Mzalendo? So if people like 70 others are against it, that means where is the blueprint? And now people are saying instead of fighting for this NADGO report and mean, there are more pertinent issues that could discuss, because this thing, it is not going to bring food on your table. Now remember, BBI season 2 is on its way coming. Remember, hata hiyo itauma kirai. Situ mimi na tuko hapa, tutaonana.
Yeah, I think I don't agree with the NATCO report. First of all, I knew that is a government ploy to manage the opposition, and it worked so well. They were managed for the several months, kept busy engaging on a useless report that was not going to help bring down the cost of living. And by and large, Stella, I was thinking that everything that they were discussing ought to have been discussed in Parliament. Every single bit of the discussions that they had at Bomas ought to have been discussed at committee stages in Parliament. They have got various committees that deal with each and every sector that they touched, be it election, be it security, be it what else did they touch? The cost of living. Those are things that they should have been implemented in Parliament.
And tax. But sasa shida ni mzalendo, wacha nikuambie, lakini ziko ubaya. Ukiona mtu kama watu kama nani hii ya NATCO report, you know what we told them? Look here, number one, just discuss 3 things zenye zinasumbua wa Kenya. I don't understand zile vitu zenye we discuss. It was not in that NATCO report. And I'm telling you, mzalendo, when Eugene alisoma the first and second page, akasema, this is not the report which we had. So that means there is someone somewhere alienda nayo kwa government printers, akasema print hii ndio nimeambiwa mprint. So ile yenye ilikuwa originally mtu alificha. You see how it's going to be?
Sasa si Kalonzo was a chair. Ichungwa was a chair.
Kalonzo, let me tell you, nani mzalendo, we can't trust Kalonzo. Kalonzo ni alikuwa watermelon. Akakuja tena akasema ata support Raila. Akakuja tena akasema ata support Raila. You get what I'm trying to say? This person changes goal post and a change.
No, you know, I think Kalonzo is an independent-minded person. He doesn't like to be swayed.
Ulikuwa watermelon, si ndio?
No, Kalonzo, you know, as much as people say that he's a watermelon, he has managed to keep his Wiper party intact in Ukambani and get all those Kamba leaders trust him, including the governors. All the governors are under Wiper. So why do you say he's a watermelon? He's not. He's a leader. The Kamba people respect him so much. He's a leader. As much as you say he's a watermelon, it's only that he decides to choose which battles to fight. He doesn't go for mandamano like yourself. He chooses his battles. That does not make him a coward. All right.
Mzalendo, Kalonzo got party votes, pity votes from the Ukambani. Let me tell you, there are only 2 Ukambani leaders Wakamba wanasikianga. Kibuta Kibwana na Mutula Kilonzo. Those na Charity Ngilu. Hando watu wanasikizanga.
Kibuta Kibwana akona chama yake. Akona chama. Akona wafuasi wangapi, akona wabunge wangapi hapa kwa county assembly? Hakuna. Hakuna hata moja. Wiper imechukua kaunti zote, they are the majority. MPs wale wameingia hapo 90%, 99% ni wa Wiper. So wewe unataka, which statistics are you using?
Me, I'm telling you, this guy got pity votes. He got pity votes. Let me tell you, there are people who talk in Kamba, mpaka watu wanasemanga, huyu kama angekuwa amesimama kwa hii party, hata angekuwa namba 2 kwa general election. Someone like nani? Kivuta Kibwana, there is Kalonzo Musyoka, there is the one of the governor of Machakos, na Charity Ngilu. Ndio wanasikizangu sana. They just did that kuhurumia tu Kalonzo. Ni votes za huruma. I have friends who need votes za huruma. Yeah, those who are pity
Your
votes.
friend, you have been brainwashed by your friend who is coming from Mukambani, who does not support Kalonzo but supports Raila. But
No,
I can assure you, Kalonzo has been in politics. Has been in politics for the longest time. Sijui alikuwa bunge kwa mwaka gani, kwa mtoto kijana. Kalonzo has been in politics, and we give it to him. He has made. He came out of ODM and formed his own wiper political party. I don't think that it was going anywhere with Kinamaanzo, and that party has become very, very strong in Ukambani. I don't think any other party can challenge it, apart from UDA that is making inroads. There's no any other political party that can challenge Kalonzo. Even Ngilu had a political party. Usiongee hata mambo ya nani. Ngilu had a political party in Ukambani. But at the end of the day, Kalonzo carried the day. So give it to him. As much as unamuita watermelon na nini, he has managed to get the Kamba votes. And the Kamba votes are over 1 million. So he brings all that. That's why even your last minute ukisema aingie kwa baba, he had got options because our elections are tribal. He had got options. He knows that he is on demand, anatakikana. It is you people who thought that he was not a force to reckon. So suppose you didn't even have Kalonzo on your stable. How many votes would you have got? Nothing. So sometimes patieni Kalonzo heshima yake tu, hata kama mumpendi hivyo, mpatieni heshima. Mimi ile heshima nampatia because he chooses the right battles. He chooses his own battles. He doesn't want to act like Raila Odinga or any other. Raila Odinga is in his own league. He plays his own league. He wants to act like Raila Odinga, the opposition leader. Kalonzo wants to act like more of a mediator kind of politics, but that has not stopped these people from getting into parliament and and into the Senate. So give him credit. Give credit where it's due. You cannot win all the battles, Stella Wangari. Stella.
But yeah, I've had you, Mzalendo. I've had you. But
Yeah.
as it stands, I believe Kalonzo alipata votes za huruma. Sikudanganya.
Sasa ni nani hao alikuwa anampigia kura ya huruma? Yani wanamhurumia nini? And he was not even hakuwa anasimama hata president.
Sasa hebu nikuulize, people in Makueni, he's not liked in Makueni, he's not liked in Kitui, he's not liked even. Alafu unajua Kalonzo ni wasa.
Sasa he's not liked in Makueni. The governor of Makueni ni wiper. Machakos ni wiper. Kitui ni wiper. Sasa unasema wapi?
But I'm telling you, people don't like him because he never makes up his mind.
I don't think so. Even in this election. So in this election that is coming, do you think that Kambas will leave their own son and vote for somebody else? They've never done that. Unless Stella is saying that for the first time.
It's too early to say. It's too early to say. Lakini, let's wait.
I don't think Kenyans vote on tribal lines. There's no way Kambas will now
that one is not disputed. That one, I know. That one we cannot dispute as we go according to the tribal whatever.
But the tribal metrics. If the tribe decides that we go this direction, that is the direction that they're going to take. Yeah.
No, I'm saying this is the thing is the only way of avoiding to do this tribal division and all. We need to have someone who's metropolitan. Mwenye hajui lugha kwenye umetoka kama ni.
Hebu niambie huyo mtu ni nani? You know, Stella, we have been debating here. We are trying to look for that person who can unify this country, not on tribal lines, but on basis of policy.
Mchukue Joho.
You know, you have got uko na jokes zingine.
No, nani mwingine? Who would you think apart from Joho?
Okay, you see, now look at Joho. I know I know most ladies like Joe because he's handsome, ananyoa to devil. But what else apart from handsome? Ni nini unampendea sana?
Mimi hakuna kitu. Mimi tu nataka ule mtu mwenye achukuliwe ni mtu neutral, alafu achukue deputy wake mwenye ni very aggressive. You remember like
kama Babu Owino.
Either anaweza chukua Babu Owino ama achukue mtu kama anaitwa nani, what's his name, this PNU guy, the secretary general, he's called who?
PNU.
What's the name? Aitwa nani?
Secretary General wa PNU.
Hapana, wa Secretary General wa UDA. What's his name?
Secretary General.
Mtu mwenye ni aggressive, mwenye anajua kile anataka kufanya. Unaelewa? Sisi hatutaki.
Now you brought a debate that Julia really wants to hear. Yeah. So tuchague Joe to be the presidential candidate and a rebellious deputy. Somebody like like who now?
You can either choose Balala, it's called who? Cleophas Malala.
Oh, Cleophas Malala. Huyu Cleophas Malala ndio nataka akuwe deputy wa Joe. Then we rally behind Joe to become the president of the Republic of Kenya.
Ama you take someone like who? Someone like Babu, but Babu Owino will be too.
Now, wacha nikwambie my take on this, and this is if you want, and this will happen only after Ruto. If we want a presidential candidate after President Ruto, tuende kwa prize water the PwC, tuambie wa advertise hiyo vacancy. Tuende kwa Mohamed Amin Foundation. Mohamed Amin Foundation deals in leadership and all that. Tuende kwa Center for Multi-Party Democracy in Kenya. They formulate the kind of leader that they want. Kenyans wafanyiwe caucus, the kind of leader that they want throughout the country. Tujue these are the credentials that we want for a leader. Not to be based on probably on education na nini, but akuwe pia na education. But Kenyans will decide this is the quality of leader that we want. Waende central people wakuwe na caucus in almost each and every county in Central Province. Waseme, hey, Kenya, we are at a crossroads. Tumekuwa kwa tribalism for a very long time. Now we want a leader that is going to unite us. Give us the kind of leader that you want. Tupatie nani ndio mnataka. Then waende Nyanza. Hey, Baba is out of the scene. Tupatie ni the kind of leader that you want. Yeah. So that way, Stella and Julia, that way we can get a presidential candidate. I think Singapore did it. Why not Kenya? Tunaweza fanya hivyo, then we get somebody that is acceptable from each and every corner of the Republic of Kenya. And this thing should be advertised, should be drummed up. And that is the conversation that we should be talking about when we come to our small platforms. That who do we think can be the next president of the Republic of Kenya? And what are the qualities of the next president? My number one quality would be the president should not be tribal. Julia?
Oh yeah, you people are having a good debate, a very nice debate. Umesema Joho is handsome. Hey, Zalendo, you just broke my ribs. So
no, the crop of leaders that Stella ameweka hapo, ameweka Malala, ameweka Joe, akasema Joe ndio presidential candidate wake, and she should tell us the reason why she thinks that Joe can make a good presidential candidate. Me personally, I have not seen any achievement from him. He has been associated with other things that I don't want to mention. So for me, Joe is out.
Yeah, me too. Joho has, I think he's scandalous. Akona scandals zinamfuata. I don't think he can boldly.
Wait, hata Uhuru alipatwa na scandals. Hata nani alipatwa na scandals? Ruto. Everybody has skeleton in their closets. Now, if you don't want Joho, because me I've settled for Joho, fine, because ni mtu wa mkosti na ni mtu, okay, you see like Costarians, they don't have inaita waje sijui ni mjikenda what huyu ni mtu na, I mean he's a neutral person. But now the problem is here in Kenya, the next person akichukuliwa, tuseme mtu kama Peter Kenneth, mtasema Mount Kenya tena. So who else do you feel that he can be a president? Unless museme Okuro a court wa nini punde imechoka nini.
Stella, hebu jibu hii swali as even as you ukimaliza. Mzalendo, do you think Kalonzo can challenge Ruto? Jibu hiyo swali.
Ruto, let me tell you one thing I can give about Ruto is a very good strategist. But problem ya Ruto amesurrounded with the wrong people. Wrong advisors, starting from David D. Then the problem with him, he's putting his friends in government, other than putting employees in government. That is the problem. Because if you see Mzalendo wakati Uhuru alikuwa ameingia as president, when walitokanga the Hague, wakitoka Hague, when they were felt that they were acquitted, they came in as one accord, wakasema, let's form a party called TNA. Let me tell you, Uhuru was a boy mwenye alikuwa na don. That's why tunamuita Kamwana. Kamwana alikuwa na pesa. Yeye alikuwa anawaambia, wewe fanya nini na mimi da wewe unataka to form party? Sawa, let's form a party. Itaitwa TNA. Sawa. Ruto akamwambia wewe niachie kazi kwa ground, mimi ndio nitadeal now. Let me tell you, Ruto strategize. What happened? We won. Landslide. Hiyo msiseme atiibiwa. Hiyo ya TNA hiyo ilishinda. Landslide hiyo ilishinda. Matope ilikuwa mzuri, ilikuwa imepata maji. Then what happened? Ukaanza kufika wakati kulikuwa Jubilee. Sasa at the time when there was Jubilee, ukaanza kukuwa na division ya parties. Who spoiled it? Who else? It is Ruto who spoiled it. End of the day, kwa sababu alikasirika, kwa sababu kulikuwa na handshake. Now, Mzalendo, Ruto na Kalonzo, these are two different people. Ruto is cunning and Ruto knows how to strategize. Lakini how he's strategizing, he's putting the wrong people on the he's surrounded with the wrong people. Now, if you take someone like David Ndi, mwenye alivuto, you remember David Ndi alikuwaga advisor wa Kagame. That guy was deported like a dog because he misled Kagame. Then he puts David D. David D akakuja confuse Ruto everything. Akakuja akamwambia hapana, we need to do this, strategize nini whatever. Ruto ndio huyo ameenda kusikiza wazungu, instead askize why do we need IMF, World Bank? Fine, wanataka kutupatia loan, yes, but on what condition? Commercial loan. But why did David D tell Nani we have to do domestic borrowing? What is domestic borrowing? Increase our taxes. Let me tell you, that is the time Ruto alikuja created a common enemy na hustlers. Now, Kalonzo, for me, I can say this person cannot make his mind. Let's check the Kamba leaders who are there, who are good and stable. Mi naweza ona Charity Ngilu anaweza chapa Kalonzo, na ninaweza ona Mutula Kilonzo akitapa Kalonzo, because Kalonzo ni kama hajielewi.
Julia, come in.
Okay, wacha niseme kitu. I have a different view. Like I was saying, the thing that even Uhuru has scandals is the same thing that has made people vote for Ruto. Wakisema kwamba ati mnatuambia tusipigie Ruto kwa nini? Sita Uhuru. So we cannot go on voting for the wrong people because we have been having wrong people. Or we have about 51 million Kenyans, and I think about half of those are grown-ups, and they can vie for presidency. And we have a lot of good personalities in Kenya. So I think now, at first, I was very disappointed with Baba's move. In fact, I'm still very disappointed. And my disappointment was here that it seems he's proving the people like Gachagua right. Gachagua even said the other day ati huyu mtu ngojeni tukimpea mzee tukimpea kiti atanyamaza tu. Goje tutampanga akipewa tu apewe kiti hapo kama mamlaka ka position nini. And before long, Gachagua even said that Baba talked with Ruto Mombasa. See, mimi mlisikia hiyo scandal ya Gachagua na tukamdismiss. And then for me, whether it is true or not, somehow Baba's move is justifying Gachagua's allegations. Now, what would have been my wish? My wish would have been Baba to fight the battle to the end. And even if he does not succeed to become president, probably he could have succeeded bringing forth things like IEBC, a proper IEBC, and maybe changes in laws that ensure that we have a free and fair election. You know, Rome was not built in a day. You may aim for the moon, for the sun, but you may reach the moon. So he may not even have become president, but he should have continued insisting that we must do things right. So if Baba was still like the way he was, he may not be asking people to go to the streets, but he could be there demanding that let us look at our election laws, let us look at our IBC afresh, and you know, those kind of demands is what has brought changes in Kenya. It is not that we woke up one day and we found ourselves where we are. For example, when people fought for multipartyism, that was in the fight began in the late 80s when the likes of Kenneth Matiba and Rubia resigned from Moi's government. And when they resigned, we may have thought they have made a wrong move, but they did not achieve what they were doing. They were fighting for in those late 80s. We went all the way to the 90s, is when Moi removed Section 2A, accepted that Section 2A be removed from the Constitution, so that now Kenya became a multi-party state. So we achieved a milestone there. And then it was not over, because now, though we were multi-party, we saw that we were not able to run effectively fair elections. And even, I don't believe 2002 was the fairest election. It's just that there was an overwhelming majority win by Kibaki. And some of us say that I am not sure. I think Moi, my point about Moi over Kibaki and Uhuru, Moi did not mind either of them. That is why he let go. I think he did not mind having Kibaki as president. So he let go. When Uhuru was defeated overwhelmingly, he was like, it's fine. He didn't have to steal for Uhuru. Otherwise, I think he had the machinery to steal. So in 2002, though Kibaki won, we did not address the issue of election malpractices. We did not address that. So we thought we were okay. So we let go. And guess what? 207 found us again, right, Uzalendo?
Yeah.
So what happened? The electoral malpractice. Now we had the multipartism, and now we are having what? Electoral malpractice. Now see what? Now, first and foremost, the killings that happened in Rift Valley and Naivasha were wicked and devilish, and we know the people who maneuvered that. Because two wrongs cannot make a right. However, still we did not solve a problem, because to reform nini serikali ya nusu mkate. Hiyo serikali ya nusu mkate na singekaa chini even before for me na government mzalendo and address why did this go wrong. Could we have done it better? Probably we could not have had the challenges we had in 2013 and 2017. Now, 2017, we have a Baba handshake. And I think Baba and Uhuru had now the room to address again those electoral issues that we have, which they did not, because they believe they are in power. Uhuru as usual, did not even pay attention to the challenges we were having, thinking that they were in power. And guess what? They were not even in power, because Ruto created the so-called deep state, and he was the deep state, and he literally ran the elections. So we find ourselves again in the same dish again. So what happens in 2022? We have an election and somewhere tunasema kwamba tunaambiwa ati portal zinawekwa numbers, then around 2, 3, 4 days the portal stops working, and then finally somebody is announced and president. We saw this scam. We did nothing about it. Now, because we saw this scam and we did nothing about it, we went to the court, Supreme Court, and according to some of us who support Baba, we believe that the Supreme Court was compromised. And now we are back to square one. So we go back to the streets demanding the server be opened. Now, I do not want people to go back to the streets. We could have sat down and devised other ways of insisting that what we want should be implemented. The server, either the server to be opened, or we sit down, open dialogue, and decide how elections will be run in Kenya. And then, even as we sit, we who the aggrieved parties decide, kama hii serikali haitatii what we are asking, then we'll do this. Tukuwe na plan B. Tukuwe na plan B hata hiyo ya uchaguzi. But then before the dust is over, we hear kwamba kuna mjamaa anaitwa Obasanjo kama kawaida. First of and foremost, Kenya is not fighting. Kenya was not at war. Even the protests, hadn't the police intervened, there would not be no violence. It is the police who killed our people. It is not the people who went killing people. It is the police who went to kill people in Mathare and Kibera and wherever. So it is the police who murdered Kenyans, innocent Kenyans. It is not the protests that brought the deaths. People haven't we seen doctors protesting? Who died? Did we see the Law Society of Kenya protesting? Did anybody die? How many protests have we seen in Rift Valley? Did anybody die? Was anybody's property destroyed? Why then, when Azimio protesters are protesting when people are killed? It is the government of Kenya that killed people. And I hope one of these findings somebody will be made to answer for that. Now, after going all through that, from nowhere, we see Baba and Ruto taking pictures with Museveni.
That one killed you. Julia, that one must have, that killed you.
That was one of my worst disappointments of the year.
You know, Julia, you know, it is sad that somebody like you has been a very strong supporter of Baba, believing in the policies of Raila Odinga, and believing that, you know, one day you'll get the electoral justice and things like that, and saying that Baba should not shake hands with William Ruto. Then eventually you find him shaking hands with William Ruto. I think for people have been saying that Raila is not interested in becoming the president. People like Miguna, they've been saying that for a long time. And you know, you see him settling for less most of the time.
Yes. It is like Muzalendo. You know how it feels? Let me tell you, I think in Kenya I have believed in two people, in Baba and Kenneth Matiba. Let me tell you, I was a believer of Kenneth Matiba. And when he said in 1997 there was only to vie for president, I believed. I was young, and I was very young. Let me say that. I can't say that I was old enough to do stuff, but I believe he was doing right, because he said the election was going to be compromised. So it was a waste of time. So Matiba did not vie for president. People from Mieri said that Matiba ni mjinga, ati Kibaki akasimama. Kibaki alikuja namba ngapi? Nonsense. What number was Kibaki? What number was Kibaki vying for? Nonsense. It was a waste of time.
Maybe one of our guys in the comment section is asking a question to Julia. Could you kindly ask Julia if she believes Kibaki and Uhuru stole the elections from Raila? I would love to hear her answer.
Let me tell you, I have always believed they stole, but from the behavior of Baba, I'm beginning to doubt whether they stole. I'm telling you. I am telling you. You won't blame me for believing so.
You know, when we were telling you this initially, you never believed me. And
No. I believe. I always believe they stole. Let me tell you, because Baba has fought very hard for Kenya, and genuinely he get genuine support. He doesn't get okay, he has his fanatical following from Luo Nyanza. Lakini ukisikia mtu kama mimi akitetea, mimi nimetoka Mount Kenya, nimekaa nimereason with myself and ask myself, what do I want for Kenya? So it means when I support Baba, I'm giving him that genuine support. Now, so I was saying that Baba and Matiba are the only people that I have ever felt that can fight for Kenya. The other person that I feel can fight for Kenya is Mother Karua. All the others, Muzalendo, Joy
Yeah. You see, Matiba. Matiba, when he was appointed the minister, he was the minister for sports and culture, something like that.
Culture and social services.
Culture and social services, and he resigned. He resigned.
The guy resigned and told Moi off
in a cabinet meeting.
Yes, and najua jamaa wa Moi wanakwambia walikasirika.
Wakasema so that was listen, that was the first minister to resign in the history of the Republic of Kenya.
Nakwambia jamaa walikasirika. Alafu wakakutana wakasema ati ametuaibisha tumfukuze kwa KANU. They held a meeting, they chased him out of KANU, and once you are chased out of KANU, it means you are no longer a member of parliament. And before you to become cabinet secretary, you have to be a member of parliament. So it means you are no longer a member of parliament. So, but he called a meeting, he said, I was told I was chased from KANU. When people are chased from KANU, where do they go? From today, I, Kenneth Stanley Matiba Jindo, declare Kenya to be a multi-party state. Wale wote wamefukuzwa KANU, mujiunge na mimi. Then guess what? I understand Matiba and Rubia called Kibaki. Kibaki alifanya nini? Akabaki kwa serikali. From there henceforth, we declared Kibaki is called Major General Kiguoya. Kiguoya means the biggest coward. Let me translate for you. Now, that is why I'm saying, I have never believed in any other leaders apart from these two leaders. So now, after seeing what the Babas move, being even fair to Baba very much, if I want to be fair, first, if you look at his age is progressed. I think he's tending. Sijui kama akona miaka ngapi saa hii mzalendo. I'm not so sure.
You know, Baba is turning 80.
Yes, 80, his age is progressed.
80. By the time akimaliza AU atakuwa 84, going to 85.
Yes, when you look at his age is progressed. So if I want to be very fair to him, I think that was a wise exit. The only thing we may not want to see him is to see with him Ruto. However, exiting AU, that was a good exit because inakaa kama hata kama Azimio, they're drunk with Baba, they are claiming he has power and he has influence. He don't have any influence. We don't even care who is AU chair. I never even know who is AU chair myself. So that one is a big lie. We are lying to ourselves. But it is a good thing for him. He have a responsibility that affects the whole of Africa, and it's a good exit, and he will serve Africa in one way or the other. So now, let me now say that I've accepted my fate, that it is okay for Baba to go to AU. And now I want to answer the questions that Muzalendo and Stella were brainstorming here about who next. Now, yesterday I was in Sound Credit and I brought up an argument that really people didn't like. And people were arguing about, there was an argument that ODM may develop problems because before Juicy, Babu was swearing and thumping his chest, how he must be among in the ODM leadership, and kama hawataki ataforce, unaona. Now, on the other hand, there are people proposing Oparanya. And then, so in Sound Kadi, there was something about Oparanya, there was something about Matiang, there was something about Joho. Kuna side ya Joho and the likes of Babu Owino. Then there was this Oparanya, and I don't know, sijui Oparanya na nani, ninasahau yo mwingine. Oparanya and Matiang. Then there's another group. Sikumbuki number 2 alikuwa gani. Oh, Simba Arati, and I don't know who. Okay.
Simba Arati, yeah.
Yeah, you see, if you see all that.
Gladys Wanga umemweka wapi?
They didn't mention Gladys Wanga. I don't know why they are male chauvinists, why they didn't want to mention Gladys Wanga. So Mzalendo, if you look at that, it means without Baba, it's going to be a strife in ODM, right? So even before ODM decides to front an Azimio, presidential candidate, they really have to be so bad among themselves and decide what is what. I hope they'll be able to front somebody from Coast and another one from Western Nyanza, so that they balance the thing. Others, I'm not expecting that they front Nyanza West. You know Nyanza, if you ukiuliza watu wa Mount Kenya na kwingine mzalendo, najui kama huyu ni Mburu, watakwambia hatujuangi tofauti ya Mluya na Mjaluo.
Mburu anaweza kukuambia vile watoto walikuwa naambiwa Wajaluo ni watu aina gani.
Yes, hatujuangi tofauti ya Mjaluo na Mluya. Si kupenda kwetu, saa zingine is just ignorance. We actually, let me call it ignorance. We don't know the difference. You can call it ignorance. But, or we don't seem to pay attention to things.
But let me tell you before Mburu just comes in, just one word. You know, we have reached a point whereby this political, this tribalism is almost dying. But there are people who are hell-bent to ignite it again.
Like your friend Gachagua.
You see, Gachagua, let me tell you, Gachagua will not be the president of Kenya. That one is a fact. He will not.
Yeah,
be the
Gachagua
president.
will not make it. Gachagua may make it.
He will not. And that's why Ruto is so smart. Ruto, despite Mudarao, this guy is trying to unite the country in a way that even when Gachagua is exiting the scene, he will see that, you know, there is an overwhelming support for whatever candidate that is going to oppose him in UDA. You know, he has to face, yes, he has to face nominations in UDA.
Okay, Mzalendo, the way I see it, with the exit of Baba, let me, so the Buru comes in. Exit of Baba has brought in a very good thing also. It's a blessing in disguise. First and foremost, ODM now there is room for ODM leadership to grow. Okay, so they will have to grow a candidate that a proper candidate, and that they have no choice but to do that. Secondly, now we have a fair play. Hakuna vile tukisema ati ni madharau Kalonzo akisema ati anasimama na Baba yuko. It will no longer be madharau. Let me tell you, it will be okay for Kalonzo to say he wants to be president. Now, another thing I am thinking now, if the election is very fair, we'll have a runoff. If the election will be fair, we'll definitely have
in 2027.
Yes, we'll definitely have a runoff.
Wachia hapo Mburu aingie kidogo, nitakwambia kwa nini.
Wacha nimalizie. I'm almost finishing. Now, why am I saying this? Now we'll have room. Everybody who has been saying imekanyangiwa asimame, sindio? So you see, these people benefited from a lot of votes from each side. For example, we still have some people who voted for UDA from Mukambani, right? We can't say that Mukambani voted outright for Azimio. Now, we can't say that Mount Kenya voted for UDA. No, this time there was a very big number of people that voted for Baba from Mount Kenya region, unlike in the past. In fact, IBC gave it close to 1 million plus, which has never happened ever in history. Now, Coast Province will be divided. Okay? Now, what I'm trying to say this time, ata Ruto, ukiona kichwa cha mwenzako kikinyolewa, pia chako tia maji. This time, he will not be able to balkanize Kikuyu Kalenjin. Why am I saying this? I was telling people yesterday, sometimes people look for a softer candidate whom they feel, even if he's not a performer, they feel safe in his hands. And that person is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. We call him watermelon. Lakini nikuulize mzalendo, kesho ukiamka, usikie Kalonzo ni president, what will happen? What will you think in your head? Will you really be so sad or depressed? No, because you don't expect Kalonzo to start going after people, revenging and all that. Now, but if UDA people wake up and hear Baba is president, that will be depressing. Just like the way Azimio people had that Ruto is president, that they were depressed. But if they hear any other person, the election will not be hotly, will not bring out hate. So the departure of Baba is a blessing in disguise. But this blessing in disguise, there will be one major casualty.
All right.
That is Boro's friend, Kashieda.
Mburu, hebu sema neno kabla uondoke. I know you are at work. Your mic.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muzarendo. I'm just enjoying the line of thought from my good sister, whom I have come to like, Julia, because as much as she don't like Gachagua, she's just like Gachagua because she is so honest with her statements. She talks mostly facts, and that's what we need in Kenya. I hope you can hear me clearly on your side.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying not to shout because I'm at work. So, Muzarendo, I have heard you say that Gachagua will not become the president of Kenya after Ruto. And I don't know where the narrative came from that if you are a deputy president, you must become a president. And the fact that he has risen 2 ranks to the level of becoming the deputy president, that by itself, it's a very high achievement. And it's not a must that he becomes the president of Kenya. However, it's not wrong for him to have an ambition of becoming, but I have had arguments with people that the Kikuyus and the Kalenjins, their time is up. They should not be contesting, of which I have a different opinion on that, which I will not talk right now. So I just wanted to say Gachagua has already achieved, and it's not a must he becomes the president of Kenya. Myself, I love him because one, we have scarcity of honest people in the Republic of Kenya. And when I see one person who can be trusted, who can tell people the truth, I tend to love or like such kind of a personality. Why people have a lot of problems with Gachagua is because they are used to liars, people who thrive through deception, and they believe in them so much. So Gachagua tells people the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts a lot. I have heard Julia praise the likes of Raila Odinga, and I want to differ with her to a greater extent. It's good to analyze Raila Odinga and the kind of politics he believes in. I want to take you back from the time of Kibaki, when Raila Odinga decided to join Mwai Kibaki and form the government. They had an agreement that after they capture power, they were going to change the constitution, and Raila Odinga was going to become the executive prime minister. What happened when Kibaki did not fulfill that? Raila Odinga opposed Kibaki, and he also opposed the Wako draft of the constitution, which was a very good draft, which would have helped Kenyans. But simply because he was not given the position that he wanted, he had to show Kibaki how strong he was and opposed a draft which would have helped Kenyans. And after that, that is why, because of the bitterness that was there, the same bitterness was transferred up to 2027, and we had the skirmishes or the shenanigans that happened where we lost so many people. And I just want to say this. When I analyze the kind of politics of Raila Odinga, I see somebody who just fights for himself, not for the country. Because now in 2000, you see, he fought everything that Kibaki was doing in the first term simply because Kibaki did not fulfill part of the agreement, which was to make him the prime minister. He sabotaged almost everything. Then we came to 2007, when there was disputes, the general election dispute, and people fought, and many people died. Many people were displaced. I am one of those people who visited the people who were displaced to Tororo, Uganda. I went there. And I can tell you it was a pathetic situation. But what happened after the Kofi Annan process? Raila Odinga, after he was made the Prime Minister of Kenya, forgot totally the people who were displaced, the people who lost properties, the people who lost lives. He never talked about them. You cannot tell me that he was fighting for people. He was so comfortable because he was fighting for him, for his own position. That is being so selfish. Then after that, Uhuru took power. And during the Uhuru tenure, so many people died because of the politics that were going on. Some people died because of the crashes, others were killed by the police, and you know all that story. What happened after the hardship? Raila Odinga never spoke about the compensation of those who lost lives, those who lost properties. He never cared about that. And he started praising Uhuru Kenyatta, how good president he was, forgetting all what the common mwananchi had gone through. So if you tell me that he has been fighting for the people of Kenya, it defeats logic. Then after that, you saw what happened. After William Ruto took power, there were crashes, demonstrations. People were shot by police. People lost properties. Is he talking about it right now because they seem to be working with William Ruto? No. For him, he doesn't care whether people died because of fighting for him, because of fighting for he told them to go to on the streets. He doesn't care who lost properties. So if you tell me such a person that is so much passionate about the common mwananchi, I'll tell you no, you don't know what you're talking about. Raila has always been fighting for himself. If he captures the AU seat, you will not hear him talk about the cost of living or how Kenyans are living. No. And even when he got a chance of negotiating with William Ruto, what did he negotiate? He negotiated for high positions, the opposition offices, and the AU offices, and the sister to get positions, and the family. So when you tell me such leaders that are fighting for us, I'm telling you, is because you are yet to analyze their kind of politics. And we have many, not just Raila Odinga. And I have no problem with him, but I differ with him to a greater extent that right now he's even supporting the NADCO report, which has nothing to do with common mwananchi. So let us just know that these leaders, to a greater extent, they don't fight for us. They are fighting for themselves, and they have not done anything that we can say it is great for Kenya. For instance, if we talk about the constitution, which we have right now, 2010 constitution, to a greater extent, it was an idea of Raila Odinga. Most of the things that were implemented there were those things that Raila Odinga was advocating for. Representation, that's how we got the counties and all that. Is it the right constitution? And I keep asking, look at it critically. Kenya, a small country of 50 million Kenyans, 50 million people, with all those governors, senators, MCAs, women women reps, and so many other positions, members of parliament in hundreds. Is that really what we need as the people of Kenya? So for him, he just plays what we can call populist kind of politics, which has nothing to do with the life of common mwananchi. Mnyonge wa pale chini. I sometimes wonder whether Raila didn't know what is poverty, whether he really understands what we go through down there, or he just talks in the basing on how he has lived, because for him, he has never experienced real poverty. That is why he doesn't care even if we increase more positions, the cabinet secretary position, high office with funded by the government with the staff, and then another office of opposition funded by the taxpayers with high salary, with staff and government vehicles and security, and 2 deputies. You can imagine such a small economy. And don't forget, we had done away with that position and we gave ourselves the leader of majority and the leader of minority. Where are we going to take these two positions? Are they really trying to help Kenyans, or they are just trying to burden Kenyans more? It defeats logic. When I analyze the kind of politics that Raila plays, myself, I don't see anything for me to celebrate, because I just see a lot of selfishness and personal interest more than the interest of the nation. Yes.
Thank you, Mburu, for that comprehensive analysis. I will just want to add that, we have reached a point in this country whereby we have to talk straight. We have to say things the way they are. The exit of Baba creates the opportunity of those who are thinking on tribal line and this fanatical support for people to now look, because this fanaticism has disenfranchised us in so many ways when it comes uh, to choosing the right candidate for various political positions, and especially the presidency. Tribalism has had a very, very big factor. With the exit of Baba in politics, it means that the opposition will be weakened. It will mean that the Luo strong base will now start looking for an alternative leadership. That is the kind of thing I'm talking about. And the alternative leadership can come from any political divide. It could be a Kikuyu, a Luo supporting Kikuyu, or Kikuyus who traditionally we believed that they cannot support anybody from outside their ethnic bloc, but they supported William Ruto overwhelmingly. And to a large extent gave Raila Odinga some votes, over 1 million. That is a plus. That is a plus for an electoral college that did not and will never and will give Baba very, very few votes. So that is a very, very good sign. If the momentum increases, let us not go back to our tribal kind of politics and look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is Kenya, a better country, better governance, where we will elect leaders on merit, not leaders on sycophancy. Julia, you mentioned quite some crop of leaders within the Azimio stable that you are looking up to. Most of them, I can assure you, most of them, they have either corruption cases with the EACC. They have some of them are criminals, and it is very, very hard for Kenyans to start again. Coming into a debate whereby we are electing somebody we know that has got a corruption case with the EACC or was managing in the county and stole funds. Now, what Babu Owino and his group is saying, Babu Owino, I wrote an article on my page that last month that it is high time Babu Owino breaks away from Raila's shadow. The good leader will inherit the vibrant base or the rebel kind of attitude of Raila Odinga. Is the one who will rebel from his shadow and surge his own political path, even if it means going in a by-election in Abakasi. Babu Owino is now at the right stage of doing that kind of making that kind of move. Simba Arati had got the chance, but you see, positions of governors in this country do not necessarily make them as the next heir apparent for the seat of the presidency. I find it a very weak kind of position. And just as Mburu had said, we need to look as a country whether it is time to go back to this constitution, look at it very, very keenly. Do we need this kind of representations at the county level? Look at the NADCO report. The women want, I don't know how many positions right now. That is just a burden to the taxpayers. Even if we are saying Ruto is doing this and this, but again, the opposition, what are they doing to ease the burden of the local people? They are not doing anything better. In fact, they are increasing the burden of the local people. or the taxpayers more than even the government itself.
Service
Yeah,
recommended.
they are not. They have an alternative of. They have they them as an alternative government. It should bring down should bring down bills to cut down expenditure. Should bring the number of elective posts down. Julia, today you go to your village, you'll find the MCA who has been now allocated money with the NADCO report, which will be implemented anyway. He will be allocated some money, and that money runs into millions. And who oversights this MCA? Senators are oversighting governors. Who is oversighting a senator? They want allocation, they will get allocation. Who will be oversighting these senators? MCAs want allocation, they will get double allocation because all the counties as we speak today in Kenya, that is devolved corruption. Most of them are already allocated themselves those ward funds that the NADCO report is proposing. What they want now is to have it in the constitution. So they will be having a double allocation, one coming from the national government and the one that they already allocated themselves. So in Kenya, we are in a situation whereby we need to be talking about these things every day. Julia, don't give up on your country. Whether you come in this forum, sound carded, anywhere you go, let us learn to say the truth. No matter how much bashing you are going to get, but speak to the truth. The truth is very, very important. As somehow what we are offering on these platforms are civic education, education that is about our country, that is free. We tell you, when you want to elect a leader, don't elect a leader because of the tribe they come from. Elect a leader because of the policies that they are bringing on the table. This could be the last circle of tribal politics in our country. Why can't we take this opportunity and now say, we want leaders who are who are clean, who are not tainted anywhere, and they are there. Why don't we talk about Okuru Okot? Why don't we talk about this senator who changed himself? Yeah, why don't we talk about those people? Because our mindset has been set up such that we only think that the people we see each and every day, the aggressive politicians we find on the mic, the Sifunas, the Babu Owinos are the ones who can make good leaders. I think we have reached a point whereby we need sober people. We don't need aggressive politics. We need people who are able to think and sway the mind of the general citizens of the public. We don't need street battles. We don't need to go or fight each other. We have seen, we have been abusing each other. Ruto ni mwizi, Ruto sijui what, but today wanakunya chai na baba. Wewe ile na matusi yote ulikuwa umebeba na gunia. Every day you are waking up to abuse William Ruto and Raila Odinga on the other hand. But today they are seated on the same table. And me and you are still busy here fighting instead of looking for a better way for us to survive, because these politicians are not with us. They're just for themselves. Yeah, that's Julia.
Yes, Mzalendo. So, according to you and Mburu, whom do you think is the most best compromise candidate? For the first time, we shall not be calling each other names. We shall be talking of ideas. How shall we make education accessible? How shall we make health accessible? How shall we have better roads? I mean, do you think, because really the past 15 years, I think the politics has been very volatile in Kenya, and have been full with hate and all that. So I think. Do you think this time we can have a compromise candidate where
I can give you a candidate that people will vote for and will vote for overwhelmingly, depend awe Mjaluo amenani. Put Maraga on the ballot.
Okay, yeah, Maraga. Me, I also have Matiang because I think he's a performer.
No, Matiagi already, Chamba ya Roraka. We don't want people who have been mentioning scandals. Achana na huyo is worked. He treated Gachagua so badly when he was the Minister for Internal Security. I don't think he stands a chance. He can't get my vote. The fact that he stripped Gachagua naked in front of his children, no way.
Are you sure it's not Gashawa's exaggeration that Gachagua?
No. I have heard people who are working in the forces who did that. I know a few people who did that. It's so indecent, so unacceptable. And the way he was also just stamping each and every time with kind of authority. Matiangi is a good worker, but he cannot ascend to the leadership of the presidency with that kind of authority. Well, Matiangi would be authoritarian unless you want he will be a clear version of Donald Trump. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think you have said it right. Matiang is a good, very effective worker. So any government coming in should just hire Matiang because he's going to give them results.
Yes, I said that. I said, in fact, Ruto should hire him. I don't know why he's keeping this guy out. This guy should be hired. He should be in government serving the people of Kenya, but in that capacity. Give him the Ministry of Education, he'll perform.
You know why Ruto cannot hire him? Because Ruto cannot take anybody.
No. Ruto, that is the uniqueness of Ruto. Ruto will hire him. Ruto is a Christian.
No, Ruto cannot work with somebody like Matiang.
No. What do you mean Ruto cannot? The head of the army guy who wanted to rig him out, he hired him immediately. What are you talking about?
He bought him.
No, he didn't buy him. But what do you mean buy? What did you mean by? These are the allegations that you cannot substantiate.
With Ruto cannot work with anybody who has principles. Ruto works with sycophants.
I don't.
Let me prove to you why.
I don't think so.
Let me prove to you why Ruto cannot work with Matiang. It's because Ruto has hired people like Aisha Jumwa. That is the very reason he cannot work with people like Matiang. Otherwise, you don't want to tell me, Mzalendo, that in all the people that Ruto knows, that the likes of Aisha Jumwa were the best people that he found. It is
no. Listen, and this is where you all get it wrong. When you are in a political battle and you have won election, and people like Aisha Juma, they come with an electoral college. They come with supporters that supported William Ruto. And they come with just wait. They come with what a politician needs. Politics is about numbers. It's about numbers.
When you say that, Mzalendo, now I refuse to buy your argument.
Ruto, no. When there are people who, for example, where we are right now, there are people who put a lot of money in Biden's campaign and Donald Trump's campaign. They inject billions and billions of dollars in those campaigns. Those are the people who have got say in that government.
Are they the people working as cabinet secretaries in America?
They can recommend. They can recommend that I want.
The fact that Ruto can work with Aisha Jumia, can work with Kuria. My conclusion is Ruto only works with thugs, cannot work with Matiang.
No, I think in politics there are people who have fought with you. There are people who believe in your vision, and at the end of the day, there is a reward that you have to give them.
Show me your friend, Mzalendo. You are talking two sides of your mouth. Show me with your friend. And I tell you who you are.
I have told you in politics, we have reached a stage whereby now we have to elect people according to their policies. But we have reached that stage. In the next election and the coming stages, we have now reached a place whereby, we look at Kuria as a politician, not as somebody who can deliver for the people of Kenya. So we have reached that stage. We are moving slowly into policy-oriented kind of leaders. This is the time for Kina Aisha Jumwa. Maybe this is the last circle of them. But moving forward, in politics, yes, you will have your sycophant supporters who support you, but again, there will be people who can deliver at the end of the day. All right, because that is a conversation people are
Let me tell
having.
you what I think. Let me tell you, I think Ruto's cabinet was a backward step over 10 years ago. Because even with the Ruto and Uhuru, we never had this kind of characters. People hata masomo hawana. Ruto amerudi beyond Kibaki, amerudi wakati wa Moi. That is what he has showed us. So you don't blame Kenyans. In fact, let me tell you something. When Kenyans begin to talk about Kalenjins and Kikuyus, there are Kenyans who are saying, worse still, if we have Kalenjin as a president. Because when we had Moi as the president, he worked with this kind of hooligans. Then when Ruto comes back, he brings in hooligans. Let me say this. When Ruto and Uhuru were president, deputy president, they didn't have the right people, but they didn't have hooligans. They didn't have the perfect people. There are people who made very many mistakes, but they didn't have the Ishajumas. So let me tell you, Ruto's cabinet is a let down. And Ruto cannot work with Matiang because Ruto can only work with thugs and sycophants. That is the president you have. Let us accept that William Samoei Ruto. And that is why his government has so many challenges, Mzalendo, because he cannot work with technocrats. He can only work with sycophants. Now, you said something that I may want to buy, that maybe going forward, we may have presidents who want to work with technocrats and people who can produce results. Maybe.
Yeah, only if we move away from the ethnicity, you know, ethnicity kind of voting pattern that are there. But again, just as I told you, these elections in Kenya there are people who invest in them. At the end of the day, even if Raila got into power, there were people that you'd see who would be coming in who invested in his presidency. Those are the beneficiaries. Right now, you'll see the people who will be appointed in his recommendation, people who you didn't even know, but they are people, maybe advisors, people who have taken time and believed in whatever cause that is championing. So politics has got its own challenges. But when you form a political party, you form it to form government, and you need numbers. So you would not rely on Aisha Juma as much as you say, you know, she's not intelligent. Just the other day, alikuwa amegraduate from the university, and we will question that. I know you will question that, and we will do that. But today in Kenya, unasikia so mtu ako na madigrii sijui ngapi na hajawahi kanyaga class, na kuna Wakenya wale wanamfanyia hiyo mtihani who are equally corrupt as the leader. Yeah, so we are living in a society that needs cleansing. We are living in a society that the voters are the problems, not the leaders. Until you realize that the voters are the problem and they need a lot of civic education, is when we will have good governance. And it's when we will have good leaders up mbele. Because we voters are the problem. We voters are the problem. Wewe ukienda kupiga kura pale, unaona nani, somebody like a good example would be who? Somebody who is so notorious. Kuna huyu MP wa Wash, unamjua vizuri sana. He is on the ballot. He's been mentioned huyu ni jamaa Wash, unampigia kura. And wanampigia kura wengi sana because ako na pesa. Unapangishwa line, like in my area people walikuwa napangishwa line, unapewa 500, 1000, mpaka governor anakwambia mimi hii leo natoa 2,200 peke yake, 2,000 peke yake. It happens. So corruption is everywhere, but the problem are the voters. So until we start doing a lot of civic education, what we are doing right here for free, so much is going to go wrong. And look at your leaders. Look at the people who support your base. or the people who support the Kenya Kwanza base, are they educated people or the less educated people? Julia, the people who support Azimio, do you think that they are more, you command a highly educated mass, or majority of your voters are not educated?
I don't know how to judge that, Mzalendo, but I think we have fanatics on both sides
No,
of.
no, on your side. Forget about this other side. Do you think that on your Baba's majority of supporters, are they people of class 3, class 4? Do they outnumber the people who have gone to school?
I think I think they are more educated people in Baba's side. I want to believe that.
I differ with that. I differ with that a lot. And if they're educated, they behave like Nuru Okangas and the rest. So, and why am I saying that? Because you just mentioned that they're fanatics. They don't use their brains to think. Wakiona baba pale ndio huyo. When baba says things like ukienda left, nikienda left utaenda na mimi, nikiingia kwa shimo tunaingia na wewe, nikienda wapi unaingia na wewe. Think a politician is able to sway the masses even by gestures. I was watching a documentary on how they made Ronald Reagan. They used, like you see the way Fox and its colors on the screen and everything else. Fox News was made that way deliberately. When you go into Fox, you become glued to that particular station, not because of the presenter that you are seeing, but anybody would come there, tell you a line, just a line. A line. It could be a propaganda line, but that's something that would stick into your head for the rest of your life. Like, politicians say that these are the common lines our politicians use, and they stick in your head. Baba ni mchawi. Ruto ni mwizi. Those are things that, they are said again and again, and they stick in your head. So in politics, when that is said, it controls a larger mass. And if it is repeated, then it becomes, a big movement saying, ule ni mchawi. Ukaambiwa Raila ni mchawi wapi? Ulimwona kwa mganga wapi? Hakuna, lakini wewe unasikia tu yeye huitwa hiyo huitwa mchawi. Ruto ni mwizi. Ni mwizi. Ushamwona mahali ameiba ama ni nini? Yani, there are things that people say, politicians say, that to sway the masses, and the masses move. Whether you are educated or not educated, you don't interrogate their statement. From today onwards, Julia, interrogate each and every leader. For example, I always interrogate what Sifuna says. Sifuna uses the same tactics. He would say something that would stick. He would say a lot of English, but he would say one thing that will stick in your head forever. So politics is like that. So akisema hiyo kitu moja, the whole masses turned out that, hey, Sifuna is now the leader. Sifuna is now the leader. Huyo ndio sasa tunamfuata. Babu, we know the same. He will do something, but say something that will stick in your head. Tibim tialala. All right? Ukaulizwa hiyo tibim tialala inamaanisha nini? You don't know. But you see, it has resonated so well among the youth. Hata ukaulizwa hiyo tibim, unasikia Babu Owino akianza kuongea, unasikia tibim tialala. Tibim tialala. Hata Julia ule ameenda shule anasema tialala. Tialala. Hata ujui.
Mzalendo umenionea hii sema.
No, I just wanted to give you a narration of how these things work and how they change your mind, and how even the most educated person can become the most stupid person. All right. So politics is like that. Hawa watu unawasikia Mato, naona Mato, ingia kwa studio, acha kukaa hapo. We need you here in the studio tukiongea. Stevie Mtialala, unasikia Babu Owino. So siku ile, wacha nikupatie story. Mimi, I was the first person to introduce Stevie Mtialala in Nyanza. Believe you me, nobody knew what Stevie Mtialala was. Sasa niko kwa rally, sikia story. Niko kwa rally, me I had heard Babu Owino saying that in campus. So nikaenda nikasema Stevie Mtialala, hey, nikamwambia watu, nikisema Stevie mseme Mtialala. So after nishatoa speech, kuna mzee mwingine akasema, one of my uncles akakuja akasema, na wewe hii Stevie Mtialala inamaanisha nini? I think come and explain to us what Stevie Mtialala means. So everybody was given a chance to explain Stevie Mtialala. So Stevie, kuna jamaa explain Stevie ati Stevie ni ile meza kwa sitting room ile imekosa mgumo, ile mguu moja. Sasa ile ikienda hivi ikiwobble hivi, hiyo inaitwa Tialala. Yani there were so many crazy ways of explaining that thing, but it's only Babu Owino who knows what Stevie Mtialala. And perhaps he doesn't even know what Stevie Mtialala means, you know. So guys in the comment section, hebu tuambieni Stevie Mtialala inamaanisha nini? Hakuna mtu anajua Stevie Mtialala inamaanisha nini. Mambo mzalendo. Niko salama. Omosh wana hawa yuko hapa.
Who is Omosh Wanawa?
Omosh Wanawa mmoja, ule Omosh Wanawa. Omosh, kutuambie hii inaitwaje hii? Stevie Mtialala inamaanisha nini? Wewe ndio unasema. Tuambie Stevie Mtialala inamaanisha nini? You know,
Omosh wa Jacaranda.
Yeah. So Stevie Mtialala, we don't even know what it means. Lakini Babu Owino alitoka na hiyo Stevie Mtialala ikakuwa ni kitu ingine every youth, and it became a movement like that. This is somebody who has studied politics. When you study a lot of politics, you come up with this word. You come up with the words that are catchy. You think that Raila came up with Gachietha. Look at that word called Gachietha to identify Gashagu. Even the most educated like Julia is saying Gachietha. Hata juu inamaanisha nini Gachietha. Unaona?
Gachietha is I think like most Luos are not able to pronounce.
Do you know what Gachietha is?
No, I think they're not able to pronounce Gashagwa. Or what does it mean? Or is it an insult?
Oh my God. You see? You don't know what Gachietha is, Yani, and you've been saying this word for a long time, but you don't know what it means.
No, ask Baba.
Sasa Gachietha, wacha nikwambie na Kiswahili ndio naweza translate vizuri. Gachietha means kamavi.
Oh my goodness.
Unaona? Yani aka kamavi, unajua?
Hata Raila naye ako na matusi.
Yani that name, Chietha is Mavi.
That matter.
So Chietha is Mavi. So he has put his name like Mburu would say Jeff Chietha. Yani Jeff wa Mavi. Yani Jeff wa Mavi, Julia wa Mavi. So unaona. So that's what he.
Lakini hata Gachagua naye ako na matusi mingi wanatukananga baba. So I don't blame him.
So unaona hiyo even in high school we had you say yeah Stevie Mtialala is a cheering slogan. We are not timid. Sisi sio mafala, tunaelewa. Hakuna kitu tunaelewa hapo. TB mnatiala la lemale wase inamaanisha wazee people in the group, lakini TB mnatiala la inamaanisha nini? TB tialala.
So Mzalendo, take you back the debate. Ulisema Maraga uite Mburu naye akupatie your point. Maraga, who else? Let's say Maraga.
No, Maraga brings in the sanity that we need in the politics and the honesty.
Maraga, let me ask you, does Maraga even want to go to the political arena? Just look at the people. Okay, I want you to look at the people in the political arena and come out with a more sober person.
You see, the church is today. The Church of Kenya is involved in politics. Yeah. I need the church. I would have proposed somebody like Bishop Oginde, because he appears to be more aggressive and involved in a lot in politics. Even when you go to his church, he comments about the issues of politics. But Maraga brings in an electoral college that he brings this kind of sober leadership that the country needs to yield from aggressive kind of politics, ethnicity kind of politics. He brings in governance in it. He brings it a situation where I have stood for this country. I've been at the highest office. I have been tested. I have been tried, and I did my job. You see. So we have apart from Maraga, then who else do we have? Maraga is number one on my list.
No. I was saying that Maraga has not even entered politics anywhere. We don't even hope that he'll ever bother. I want you to talk about the aspiring politicians.
Oh, the ones that are on the political scene.
And try and come out with he may not be sober, but a most sober person in comparison with all the others.
In the Azimio stable, and the kind of leaders that you have, the people who can at least command support. Right now, if I was to look at it, the way people would vote, and if they all the principles, I want to start with the principles, because those are the people that ODM, for example, political party. Let's start with the political parties like ODM. In ODM, there's already a power struggle between the young Turks and the older generation. What you said, Sifuna saying in the Senate about Kingi being old, was referring also to what is happening in ODM. The meeting between Joe, him, and this other guy, and Junet Mohammed, it's not a coincidence. It is showing that we young people are looking for a way forward out of this mess. All right, that we are in. So there's another group also coming up that has got Baba's a kind of acknowledgement that they are there. Baba acknowledged that there is John Mbadi, who has been the party chairman for a very long time. And in fact, the reason why why in Baba's table it's disorganized, because last time in Gwasi, where Badi comes from, he lifted his hand and said, this is the person I'm leaving the party for. All right. I have trained him. And the wife also claimed that, I have trained this man, and he's the one that is going to take the party over from me. Yeah, so that is when he's talking about Mbadi now. Now, when he goes to Coast, you'll see him again lifting Joe's hand, saying, Joe, muko in good hands, hata kama nimeenda AU, Joe bado yuko pale. Akifika Western, bado anainua mkono ya nani, ya Oparanya. So he's sending mixed signals amongst the supporters. He's sending mixed signals among the supporters. And you can witness that when the debates in Jacaranda and any other places go on. Unapata hao watu wanasema sasa huyu hatutaki huyu. Ukitaka kusikia siasa vile baba anaongea, sikia Omosh wana hawa kitu wanasema. Hivyo ndio siasa za Azimio zinasema saa hiyo. Haya, ukikuja pande hii ya UDA,
you're not done with Azimio, you only dwelt with ODM.
Okay, yeah, I've dealt with the ODM, the mixed signals in ODM. That party will become divided. People will lazima ikuwe divided mara mbili after Baba's exit. The young Turks will want their way. They cannot mix with the likes of Kinauburu and the rest. They will have to divide hiyo machungwa ikatwe mara mbili, kila mtu atoke na yake. Na ukirudi pande hii ya Kalonzo Kalonzo has made his house in order. Yeah, as much as mnamuita watermelon, nyumba ya Kalonzo iko intact. It has got no wars. It has got no these people wanajitafutia kiti na nini. They speak in one voice. Yeah, they speak in one voice. So they are intact. What they are looking for is an electoral college that will break away from ODM zone. Yeah, that college that will break away from ODM is what will join, or Western is what they will join.
Yes. And as you go on, Mzalendo, I want you to add this. Remember the other day, Kalonzo was seen with Wamalwa, was seen with Munya. You remember that?
Yeah, those are the breakaways that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the breakaways, and they have to be there. And remember, Uhuru is not done yet. Yeah, Uhuru is not done yet with the politics. Bado kuna mizizi ya Uhuru Kenyatta in the politics of Kenya. There are people who we call them sycophants, the people who believed in Uhuru so much that they will listen to him. So Uhuru is not happy wherever he is with the government from his pronouncement each and every time he comes to the mic. His pronouncement is that he's not happy. There are people who are diehards of Uhuru. If you want to know that they are diehards of Uhuru, look at Kiambu politics. If you want to see what is happening in Kiambu politics, he has got an hand in that. He has an hand in what is happening and trying to shape the politics in his own backyard. So the Kio is...
We can say that these people, the Kalonzos on one side, the Kalonzo, I think it's a wise thing. Kalonzo is reaching out to Amalwa. It's a very wise thing. It's a very, 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 very calculative thing, and it's very calculative. His work, he's trying to reach out to the likes of Munya. So if they manage to get the Uhuru blessing quietly, na Uhuru squeeze like this time as he announced mtu yoyote, ikue kichini chini. Okay, that is Kalonzo. Any other person you are seeing in Azimio?
In Azimio, there is somebody called Ntembea. Ntembea, the governor for Trans Nzoia.
Yes.
The governor of Trans Nzoia is bringing the fresh politics in Western Kenya. Is auditing Wetangula, is auditing Mudavadi, is auditing each and everybody who has been performing, and if he does well as a governor in Trans Nzoia, that is somebody who is going to be uniting the young forces in Mumia, in Western. You'll see people like in Asalasia, all the young leaders will be rallying behind Ntembea. And I will not be surprised that even Wamalwa and the group will be rallying towards Ntembea. So in 2027, there will be a lot of changes in politics.
Or Ntembea will be behind Wamarwa team.
Yeah, or I will not rule out that because he has got 2 terms to go. He has to support somebody who is going to rise for the presidency. But Eugene Wamalwa does not have the command of the Luya vote as compared to what Ntembea can bring. Ntembea is seen as somebody who is first, his profession, he has been a soldier, and secondly, he has risen to be a governor. And thirdly, he's talking about what Luyas really wanted, a unity. So the Luya voting bloc have come to a realization that, they have the numbers. So these elections, apart from this election, the last ethnical circle of election will be determined by the Luya vote and the youth.
Yeah, they have the numbers. They have such big numbers which have not really added to something. So I think you are very right. So that's a very good argument. So we've seen that. Um so who do you think will reap from Mount Kenya votes? Buru needs to talk. Let's finish that. Say that. Answer me that last question, then we can bring in Buru.
Okay, Mount Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Kenya still there. You see, there is also this youth movement that is happening in Mount Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
There is the Ndini Nyoros. Don't ignore them. There's that youth college that is happening, and they have realized that and the Ichungwas. That is a youth college that will probably merge with will probably merge with the likes of Babu Owino, likes of uh, Joe, and all that. Their mind resonates well. So if Ruto decides to go for Gachagua as president, then now Mount Kenya splits again its votes. And when they split their vote, they are going to split their vote on those lines, that I have mentioned. It is either going to be Mount Kenya youth, the ODM youth wing led by Babu Owino, the Joes, the Junet Mohammed, the Mount Kenya vote wing led by Kinanjo, Ndini Njoro, Ichungwas, and the young leaders who are coming up in Mount Kenya versus the old guard. It will be the old versus the new generation.
And do you think the new generation? Okay, sorry, Mburu, come in and answer me that question.
Yeah, he'll come in.
Amechoka, ameenda.
No, yeah. Atakuja tu. He's on the background.
Do you think that youth wing can really overwhelm when you talk about the old, it's not just the old. I'm not sure the people middle age, I'm talking about 45, above 45, will resonate with the likes of Babu Owino and Ndinyoro. I am not sure of that.
Yeah, but you see, Julia, you have to know that they're not the majority. Their vote is significant, but so insignificant if the youth vote in large numbers. So they're between the ages of 40 or 50 to 70. Yes, they have got numbers, but they are not very, very significant when we are moving forward to 2027. 2027, the electoral, the elections in Kenya will be decided by the youth. Just like in Moi's time, the election in Kenya was decided by the women. In Kibaki's time, the same. So in this time round, the elections will be decided by the youth. They are the majority right now as we speak. And if they get a voice that can resonate well with them, that's why I was saying in central Kenya, Babu Owino can get votes among the youth so easily. If they team up with another youthful leader, maybe a lady, maybe Sabina Chege, for that instance, they will get that mass ignited very, very, very quickly. And election is about enthusiasm. Yeah, I am eager to vote for Babu and see what we can bring on the table. So that is the kind of thing that is going to happen in 2027. But does that stop? The big question is that does that stop William Ruto? No, it doesn't really stop William Ruto from coming back in 2027 as a president. But this movement will give William Ruto a run for his money, and come 2032, they will form the next government.
Yeah, it will give him for his money. In fact, 2027 will give him a run for his money, because now he may not get, after these disappointments, Mr. Mzalendo, a lot of Mount Kenya people are very disappointed with the Ruto's government. So he does not expect the backing that he may have had in 2022. So he will not be going tribal this time. He will have to sell his policies across Kenya.
You see now what has Ruto done. That's why I say game ya Ruto iko juu. You guys need to understand this guy. What he did in Mount Kenya is what he's doing in Nyanza. Yeah, He is not in Mount Kenya anymore. Mount Kenya is done with it. I mean, huko alishamaliza kazi yake huko. See,
So if you to say that, now I want to take you to the next question. Do you think that the Nyanza people can replace the Mount Kenya vote?
Mount Kenya, so long as Mount Kenya, they don't have a candidate on board, they will vote for William Ruto. Take that to the bank. So long as they don't have a candidate,
they may not come out kumira. Some will vote, some will not.
Yeah, but that favors William Ruto either way. Whether you come, whether they vote 40%, 20%, it still favors William Ruto. Even if they vote 10%, the highest percentage will be for William Ruto. Even if they vote, even if the turnout is low, the highest percentage will be for William Ruto because they don't have a candidate who is going to be on the ballot in 2027.
And do you think that do you think that that the likes of, I mean, do you think the likes of do you think Gachagua will be still William Ruto's running mate?
Gachagua, William Ruto. Let me say, William Ruto is I want to be theological in my thinking. William Ruto knows what happened to him between him and Uhuru Kenyatta. He doesn't want to repeat the same. William Ruto is a gentleman. He wants to keep his promise. He will keep his promise. He will keep his promise. In 2027, Gachagua will still be the vice president. He has to keep that promise because he wants to leave a legacy. He wants to leave a legacy saying that, in politics, you can be honest. Yeah, you can be honest. You don't have to be deceitful to cheat somebody who stood by you. What he has advised Gachagua, you concentrate on Central. I know you cannot get for me votes in Nyanza. Wewe kaa kwa hiyo base yako, and it is true. Do you think Gachagua can tell Luos to vote for William Ruto?
Gachagua cannot tell. He has spent.
Yes, but you see, he can tell Kikuyus to vote for Ruto. That's why ukimwona anakimbia hapo Central, si ati ni yeye ni mjinga, anajua. Then anajua kitu anafanya.
Let me tell you, my take is Gachagua now can only tell Nyeri people about Ruto. You see the rebellion in Kiambu. It will be very hard for him.
No, rebellion in Kiambu, angalia, rebellion in Kiambu vile amemaliza. The MCAs in Kiambu were rebelling against his man Wamatangi.
No.
His man was Wamatangi. But today vile tunaongea, see, they wanted to impeach him. Hiyo maneno imefika wapi?
Let me tell you, leave alone the politicians, the common man right now.
Unajua, that's where we get it wrong. You see, these leaders, they represent the common man.
No. That is the same thing. That is the same thing that Uhuru's thought. Let me tell you. Ask me what Mount Kenya people right now feel. They feel so let down. It will be, very tough for Gachagua in 2027. Talk about.
You see, before you saw the results in the last elections, before you saw the results in the last election, Julia, we have been in the forum. Before you saw the results, you were saying Baba is going to win overwhelmingly in Central. You use the same thing that the common man, forget about these politicians, what they're saying. The common man, ile kitu wanasema kwa ground ni baba. But you see, this is the most important factor that you forget. When you are elected a leader, you have an electoral college that depend on you. Even unaona vile watu wa baba wanaongojea ati baba tupatie direction, tuambie. Hata Ngilu aliuliza baba, unatuacha namna gani, tufuate wapi? Even at the local authority here hapa kiti ya MCA MP, the locals ask the what direction do we follow when it comes to national politics? Yeah, when it comes to national politics, unapata wanawambia, hey, fuateni hivi. Don't overrule the elected leaders. They've been elected there by a majority and they represent a majority of votes. So ukiona male wanaongea, ujue hiyo ndio voice ya huko chini kwa ground. Usidharau hiyo sauti kabisa, hiyo ndio sauti.
Whatever you say, let me tell you, I also belong to the school of thought that believes that the election was stolen. So you cannot tell me that
elections were not stolen. Elections were not stolen. The only thing that you didn't give that boy a chance to explain to you how vile waliiba election. Mungempatia nafasi angekuambia vile walikuwa organized na waliwashinda kura na organization. You guys just lost it because you are disorganized.
No.
There's nothing like that.
They stole the elections.
There's no election that was stolen. When just Smoking Wanjala told you, just give me one evidence for polling station bali kumulipiwa. Hamukukuwa na hiyo. Wacha tusiende hapo.
You are all thieves. You people from
Sasa saizi, okay, saizi the good part of it, Baba has nominated Amos Wako and I don't know who else to audit the server or to audit the last elections.
How is they don't have access?
No, to audit the last election. I don't know what they are going to audit. He has nominated Wako, and of course they are going to earn some salary. Mimi nakwambia hii nchi ni nchi ya kukuliwa, kukuliwa. So Wako watakuja na report wakisema elections were free and fair. So we only saw some few irregularities which we need to work on, which you would not believe. You would not believe, but that's what they'll find out.
Those are thieves.
No. So hizi vitu you guys were so disorganized. You know, for the longest time ati kwa polling station mlikuwa mnatafuta wakili. Ati we need lawyers kusimama kwa polling stations kuhesabu kura. Maina Kiai ruling, go to Maina Kiai ruling. That is the ruling inatumiwa kwa kesi yoyote ya elections. Kura umeibiwa kwa polling station wapi? Kama una hiyo evidence, kwenda nyumbani. You have nothing, zero.
So what you are saying is that it is okay to steal elections if people don't have.
There's no election was stolen.
You are justifying electoral malpractices just because people don't have agents. It's okay to
elections. You should have agents. Who was telling you that you shouldn't have agents?
Yes.
If you had in the previous election, you had agents. Why this election you didn't have agents?
I see the school of thought you belong to Muzalendo Ujabadilika.
It is no. Easy argument.
It is okay to steal election if people
Who tells you? Kama Baba amekuwa kwa elections tangu 1997 amekuwa na agents. Why this election ati sasa si ako comfortable ati sasa hahitaji agents IPC tutangaza tu wapi?
Muzalendo, wacha nisiagi sana, lakini nyinyi ni wezi, nyinyi ni wakora, serikali ya wakora.
Acha hiyo, hakuna. Mimi mlinisukuma ni support UDA na nimeenda nikavaa hiyo kofia ya UDA. Wacha nikae huko, si mlinifukuza?
Nani alifukuza?
Mimi mlinifukuza. By the way, let me tell you, when I came to that show, I was not a supporter of UDA, but I wanted to bring a logical argument because most of the time you talk to yourself. Mato kiongea mnajiongelesha tu nyinyi wenyewe. Sasa nyinyi za kutawazimia mkijiongelesha mtajisaidiaje? You need to hear the other side of the story. And the other side of the story helps a lot.
Hujamuita, simesikia unaita Mato. Where are you seeing Mato?
Mato si yuko hapo kwa panel anatuchongoa tu hapo kwa panel. Anaongea na watu wako kwa panel hapo kwa good year. Naona wanaongea na good year. Mato yuko hapo.
Ati Mato is still crying no more Mount Kenya. Mato, will you kill yourself if Gachagua becomes president? I think Mato will never go back to Kenya if Gachagua becomes.
No. Mato is Mato is so passionate about politics, and now ndio watu wanaweka siasa kwa lungs, kwa kifua.
Sikiza anasema hivi, see the foolish thing he's saying that Mount Kenya is done. No more Mount Kenya for the next decades. How, Mato? How?
You know, this is the kind of thought that we want to run away from. Yeah.
Okay.
If Mount Kenya can produce a leader who is capable better than anybody else, then we are okay with it. Hmm? Mato, tafadhali wachana na hii siasa za ukabila hapa. Sisi ukabila hatupendi sana, lakini Mount Kenya pia wamekuwa kwa uongozi ya kutosha. Sasa inabidi tubadilishe katiba ili hii kiti ya presidency iwe rotational. Mato, I wish unge advise baba pale bwana waeke hii kiti ya presidency iwe rotational. Next time iende kwa Wakamba, next time iende kwa Wajaluo, hivyo hivyo. This seat should have been rotational. Hmm?
Okay, what I was saying, Zalendo, you know what I'm saying? Mato keeps saying those things. Let me surprise Mato that even when Uhuru became president, I was surprised myself because I was thinking, you know what I was thinking, Zalendo? I was thinking like, I was just trying to be a fair Kenyan. And I think Kibaki was with me because I understand Kibaki had proposed Mudavadi. And then sijui kuliendaje, sijui Kibaki Mudavadi akaitwa usiku na akina Ruto na Uhuru, sijui akadanganywa nini. Do you ever hear that story?
No, I heard that to me. I was in the center ya NAK kabisa. Kibaki tulikuwa there was somebody who was the right hand man wa Kibaki. He died. I don't know what was that guy's name. Alikuwa very very close to Kibaki. Alikuwa anaitwa Mudhama ama ni nani? Somebody that starts with a name. Now, Julia, the sad story about Kenya, where we are now na hizi stories za election ni juu ya Kibaki. Had Kibaki not got that accident, ile accident alipata na kichwa ikaruka, na kuambia Kenya tungekuwa mbali sana.
Hebu nikuulize swali. Let me ask you, acha hiyo kichumanya kuruka, I don't think it makes sense. But
no, I will explain to you because this is something that I interacted with every day. Unaona vile tunaongea na wewe? Every single day. Kibaki had got his lapses. Is a lot of lapses, and if he was tested medically, he should not have been the president of Kenya. He had a lot of lapses.
Now, let me ask you, I want you to go straight to the point, because I heard that Kibaki wanted Mudavadi to be president. Then, in the night, Mudavadi was called by some characters, and he was, I don't know what he was convinced. And before long, we just heard that Uhuru and Ruto are vying for presidency. And how did that happen?
Well, let me explain to you what happened and why Uhuru was going to be the next president, whether you had it from what sector or what. After the 2007 elections, when Kibaki was rigged in, after Baba defeated him, when the clashes were going on, when those clashes you were seeing going on, Kibaki had reached a point whereby he's saying that he doesn't want to be the president. He cannot be the president, and he didn't win. He was that sober. Yeah, give Raila the presidency. I don't really care. Then you know who stepped in?
Ruto.
Aura, Mishukis, and the rest brought in Uhuru Kenyatta. Right? Uhuru Kenyatta, that time when Kibaki could not make any decision, it is Uhuru who made each and every single decision to ensure that Kibaki became the president, and he was installed. Every decision, every attack, revenge, and all that, yeye ndiye alipanga. Uhuru ndiye alipanga, and that is why unaona kwa mahali zingine alikuwa anaitwa chairman wa Mungiki.
And let me ask you, and how did Uhuru and Ruto vie for presidency? When I heard it was Mudavadi was vie for presidency.
Now Uhuru now on other circles, now there's this other group who are thinking that probably Mudavadi being that alikuwa working very, very closely with Kibaki, and he had fallen out with Baba.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to be a better candidate, but they looked at, serikali iko na NSAS, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who give you intelligence and they tell you, hey, huyu jamaa hata huko kwa ground ana watu, so he's not a good candidate for the presidency. So hao ndio wanakuja wana brief president, wana brief hao watu wako close, wanamwambia hey, hapana, if elections were conducted today, huyu jamaa Western atapata hivi, atapata, and they already know. Uhuru Kenyatta knew that Raila had lost elections even before we went for the ballot. Jua hiyo kutoka leo. Even when before we went to piga ile kura, alishaambiwa this guy is not going to win. But he insisted that lazima akue, and he saw it na akaona kweli these guys were telling me the truth. That is the reason why unaona the people who are working with Uhuru kwa intelligence kwa nani Ruto brought them back, because they had told this guy, you are not winning. The intelligence reports that we have, it shows that you are losing. Your man is losing. He cannot get it.
Which man? Are you talking about Raila or Uhuru? Raila.
Now nimeruka kwa Raila.
That is why Ruto jumped to this other side and supported Uhuru. That is why Ruto jumped to support Uhuru.
No, Ruto jumped to support Uhuru when do you remember they tried to negotiate? There was a lot of shuttle diplomacy in Karen between Ruto, Raila, but when Raila could not offer what Ruto was paid to support Uhuru. It didn't come for free. When Raila hakuweza kufikisha bei, na bei ilikuwa ni the electoral mass and college that Ruto is coming with. Na bei inamaanisha vitu mingi. Mimi nataka nusu ya serikali yako. Me, I want to be this and this and this. Even hii ya mwisho hii, ndakwambia Baba's advisors are the most hopeless people na hii ya mwisho I mean, that is true. Very, very
Ebu angalia vile nani still dying with Gachagua. Let me tell you. Okay. Fine.
Wait, imagine, angalia Julia. This is a candidate. Is being fixed by Uhuru Kenyatta. Ameambiwa unaenda wewe, hata sitakuchagua mimi, nitachagua mtu mwingine. And he has shown that kind of move. Uhuru ashamuonyesha the madharau throughout, amemwonyesha madharau throughout his presidency. Then,
but even Ruto had a lot of madharau. So
no, Ruto was humiliated. I've never seen somebody.
Ruto had a lot of madharau.
No, lakini nakwambia ile humiliation mpaka bibia president anakataa kusalimia Rachel. What kind of nonsense is
that? Because Ruto is a hypocrite. Ruto ana smile kwa public, lakini uko nyuma anachiba Uhuru na familia yake.
So unaona hiyo, you see, that should not have played in public, yeah? In public, Ruto was saying the way he wants to work with Uhuru.
No, and he was lying. Ruto is a liar.
Yeah, so unaona, yani, okay, sawa, he was lying. Whatever it was, he was lying. But he was lying because they had fallen out with Uhuru. That was the reason why.
And they had fallen out because of his character.
They had fallen out because of his character. Maybe do you know to date, hakuna mtu wote wa Jubilee ama wa UDA atakwambia hao watu walikosania nini.
Walikosania. Unaona huyu nani Ruto, it is even reported that Ruto planned to oust Uhuru from parliament. Did you read that?
At Ruto planned to oust Uhuru from parliament?
Yes.
Maybe I didn't see that, but
and then that is how Baba came in. Let me tell you, Ruto is very wicked. In fact, I would never stop saying this. He's very wicked. And Uhuru is not Uhuru didn't have to work with Baba if they were working well with Ruto. He didn't have to work with Baba if they had been working well with Ruto. So I don't know Mzalendo, we didn't conclude our I wanted to tell Mato this because Mato is getting mad with the Gachagua thing. Me, after Uhuru and Ruto became president and deputy president, and this Kikuyu Kalenjin thing, it can always come back. So the earlier Mato accepts, the better. It is not. I don't like Gachagua, and I can never vote for him. But this Kikuyu Kalenjin thing, sadly, may always come back. That is my take. Sadly, may always come back. But in the words of Mzalendo, that maybe it is high time that Kenyans came up with political figures that don't get support because of their tribes, but get support because of what they can do for Kenya. I think that is what Mzalendo you wanted to say. Hata mimi nataka kwenda sasa kulala.
Yeah, wacha tumalize hii show. Tumefanya vizuri sana. I think we've done almost 7 hours of this particular broadcast. Anyway, Julia, thank you so much for gracing the occasion. Those on the comment section, President JJ, kuja kwa show useme hiyo maneno unataka kusema. Kuja kwa show. Kuja kwa show useme. Goodyear, thank you so much for keeping the comment section alive. Matrix, kuja next time tukuambie the legitimacy ama Ruto was dictating Uhuru. Yeah, Ruto was dictating Uhuru. Uhuru was the president, so hiyo ni shida ya Uhuru. So hiyo sasa tutakusaidia aje? Kama Ruto anaweza dictate president, so hiyo tutakusaidia aje Mato? Hata wewe pia saa zingine unaniangusha.
Na siku ile na Ruto alisema ati mimi nasikia Ruto alisema ati angechapa Uhuru. Isikia hiyo story
Mzalendo. Ruto alisema vizuri sana, huyu jamaa anaweza mpiga hata makofi. So kama president wako anaambiwa ataweza pigwa kofi.
Mzalendo, let me tell you what I would have done if I was the president. Ningemuita jioni. Si ni my deputy. Akuje tu. Nakwambia tuketandikana. The security ingeshtuka. Ile mangumi ningempea.
Sasa Uhuru amekunya Majoni Walker. Na mtu amekunya Mursik.
I would have been sober. You see, unaona Uhuru vile kiko na nguvu. Ningemngojea. Nimwambie si ulisema ungenipiga. Ile ngumi ningempea. Security wangeshangaa sana before watuambie tuache. Hiyo story wangeandika kwa their history books.
Almost 1 hour. Asante sana kwa kuja political talk. Karibu sana, tutakuwa huko Jakaranda. Mwache hiyo sacrifice ya ujinga mko nayo hapo. Saizi
What do you mean almost 1 hour? Almost 1 hour is one who goes to Jakaranda?
Yeah, almost 1 hour ndio watu wanaendaga huko Jakaranda. Almost anaongea 1 hour. Anaitwa 1 hour. Anaongea 1 hour bila full stop, bila comma, bila anything. Na anaongea akisupport Raila Odinga. Almost utaenda AU, wewe tafuta Kanani kuko AU. Tafuta Abeshe Ethiopia, uanze kukula manjera ukienda huko AU. Mato, asante sana. TRM, I can never vote Matiangi. You can tell he is a total authoritarian. I agree with you. You see, people who resonate well with me, huyo ni authoritarian kabisa. Huyo ni dictator. Huyo akiwekwa mtainama, mtakuwa mkipiga salutu mkimuona.
Maybe we need an authoritarian right now, Mzalendo.
Do you see what Americans are saying? Have you heard what Republicans are saying?
That they want Trump for authoritarianism.
Yeah. They love Trump. America needs a dictator. America needs a dictator. So that's what they're saying.
Yes,
Sasa
maybe
huyu
for once,
nani sasa anaingia sasa
maybe
hivi?
for once we need Matiang'i akuje anyonge watu wengine, afunge wengine. That is for a while so that we have some order. Then he can go after 5 years.
Imebidi Mato aingie. Ingia useme zile vitu ulikuwa nasema. Karibu sana Mato.
Now
Mkenya
tell us
mkora.
what you are. Tell him now. Tell us what you are telling us face to face on the comment section.
Angalia vile anajiita Mkenya mkora.
Mimi mkora, siogopi mtu. Sister yangu Julia siwezi muogopa. That's my sister. Tunapandishanaga mpaka tunaangushana, alafu bado tunasema good night my sister because I love her.
But let me tell you one thing. Kabla uongee Mato, you guys, hizi vitu mnasema have helped so many Kenyans out there. Don't take it for granted that we ban this midnight oil. Saa zingine unakosana na mzalendo, saa zingine unanikosoa, saa zingine Julia is on my case. But that is what is wanted. Well, people need a lot of education. They need a lot of information so that people can vote the right manner. Na sisi hatuna uwezo isipokuwa tu ni mdomo hii tumepewa. So don't take it for granted. I believe Julia, you can be a very, very good leader. But one thing that we need to discuss is tunatoka diaspora. We need to discuss what is it that the government of the day has for us. That is a conversation that we need to discuss because there is so much.
Yes. The next thing that we need to Mzalendo the next talk.
Let us have a diaspora discussion. We can bring people from KDA. We have a diaspora discussion. Let us see whether we can petition the government. That is the only way. Tunaweza piga kelele hapa kwa mtandao nini, but there are things that we can do that the government will listen. Unaona kama sahi Ruto is coming to the US. I think I'll be there. Huko DC, but you see, if people of diaspora hawawezi raise their voices wakasema hiyo mambo ya housing ni mbaya akiwa pale, then we become watu wa kupiga tu kelele na kuna action yoyote tunazofanya. It's important. It's very, very important to have a diaspora dialogue. As much as we are burning many hours talking to Kenyans, then we need to have a forum where we people of diaspora can just talk about mambo ya diaspora tu. Mato sema sasa.
You see, the one thing that really irritates me a lot is when people talk about diaspora. We are not diaspora, we are Kenyans. Some of us, actually, the reason we're actually living outside the country is because some of us were even actually so political that we are more political than people who actually live in Kenya. Most even more than some of the people who we meet around. You see, when you talk about petitions, some of us, we've already put petitions in there and they're there. You can go look in the ministry and look at them. You'll find some of our names there with the petitions in there. So we don't come here and just jump and talk about things that we don't understand. We were political since kids, wengine wetu. So we understand these things the way they work. And yes, we understand people who are really bedridden to actually fight for either a communal kind of thinking or a tribal kind of thinking, or maybe even a vendetta kind of way of thinking something happened to them during their way of life and where they were, and something just did not work. The way it's supposed to work. But always they say the third strike is a charm. You don't just get it in the first place. I hope mwenye ananisikiza ataelewa hiyo kitu nasema. Now, coming back to why I came in. Julia, I don't want you, my sister, to think like I'm against the Mount Kenya or even the Rift Valley. I am just saying it's about time we think of having those two areas, and I will not stop talking about that. Having them taking a back seat, and letting other people try and push it. And like I said, 3 decades, at least, just the way they've had, and they have had more than 3 decades, just take a back seat. Obviously, there's today we have devolution. We'll have governors from those areas and all that. Prime Minister, deputy or whatever it is. But for now, we don't need to have this big competition ati mtu lazima akuwe mtu wetu. lazima akuwe mtu wako hivi, lazima akuwe Mkristo. We need to change our country in the kind of the primitive kind of way of thinking of that it has to be mtu wetu. Even as Kambas, kwende kabisa, if we can get some good governance in our country, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't matter if it's a Kamba, Kikuyu, Luo, whether it's a Nubi, kwanza we want a Marsabit and a lady who's even a Muslim to move. And I say this and I'll keep on saying it. We just need a Kenyan that actually can look at the whole thing in a bigger perspective. Because like when you look at Uhuru, yes, tunasikia alitaka kupigwa makofi. And we do understand. And that's what I was saying on the comment section that Mzalendo, you're lying to people. Because Uhuru basically never won anything. But Uhuru was so good that the first time he lost, he actually went and actually gave a concession. I mean, he conceded, gave a speech and said, yes, that was ile yake alikuwa ameendorsiwa na Moi. The other one, they had to bring the mathematics in. Of course, hakuna mtu anajuanga kama hiyo kitu ilishindwa ama ikushindwa. Anyway, we know haikushindwa. But that was also pushed by the fact that they were being taken to ICC. That's how walikuja pamoja. These guys are not friends. Were never friends. Then the second one came after ICC imeisha. Uhuru knew he had to come back, so bado akasukumana na mtu. But once they got in there, he changed, and that's the time the country started moving. Because remember the first, hiyo ya kwanza, Ruto alikuwa amechukua half of the government when they were wearing the same unique clothes and everything. They wanted to have like a brand that they look the same. Wamevaa nguo zinakaa the same, the bromance and stuff like that. But the second one, Uhuru now decided to be a president. And that is the time these guys were having Kamata Friday, and he did not even care who is going to, nani atashikwa. They used to run wanaenda Uganda weekend, wanarudi. Na wanashikwa na alikuwa anashika indiscriminately. Alikuwa anashika wa ODM, anashika wa nini yake, anashika. Remember one time Moses Kuria and kina nani walilala pamoja na kina Junet Udani. Remember at that time Uhuru decided to be a president. Do I say Uhuru was a bad president? No, Uhuru was a good president on his second term, and he decided to really work for the Kenyans and not even for Mount Kenya or for anyone. He just wanted to work, and that's the time you saw the overpass, the bypass, and all the way to Mombasa and all that. And sometimes ageshikiwa na huko hivyo walking with a kabakora, trying to go look at things. Saa zingine anahepa watu State House. Anyway, he never lived in State House, but anahepa watu wanaenda kuangalia maendeleo yenye nafanyika. Uhuru made the country move in his second term when he shed his skin like a snake, akashed hii Ruto ndio kinasudi na hiyo kierere yote ikaanza kukimbia right, left and center. They want to go to Jubilee House, they want to mess everything, they are doing nini, and then they ended up being UDA. So basically what I'm saying is that tuacheni uongo, let's just be realistic. And the moment we become realistic is the moment our country is going forward. Every time our country has ever left a little bit of tribalism away from it, like Uhuru did, stuff happens. And really, sometimes I wonder, why do we think that if your man is out there, like today, I know Madam Julia being here, I'd ask, Madam Julia, if there was no Kikuyu in the presidency, would it mean that Kikuyus are not Kenyans and they would not get development? I mean, we've seen Samburu. Now, due to devolution, they have roads and everything. Remember, these are guys who used to ask you if you went out there, because I remember doing some road shows out there and them asking, Mumeachaji Kenya, how is Kenya? But today, these guys can come eat wafika Nairobi na warudi because of good roads. Yeah, they've never had anybody in the presidency. So all I'm trying to say is that let's have a different kind of mentality. Na mtu akigongwa, and I'm sorry mzalendo, nitakugonga hapa hivi kidogo. Ukiumwa ukinyimwa nomination, wachana na hiyo kitu bwana, try it again.
Sasa yani mbona mnakalia hiyo kitu ya nomination? Mimi acha nikuambie story moja. Me I moved on a long time ago. The only thing is that I no longer support baba. Si lazima ni support baba.
Na si lazima umsupport, lakini ukikaa unamchapa 24/7, you look like a
yuko pale
bitter
mbele,
friend.
lazima tumchape. Hakuna mtu mwingine. Chapa Ruto na chapa baba. Na hiyo ndio siasa.
Sasa siku moja una mtu wa kuchapa, alafu utaangalia ili uanze kupiga kelele. Siku moja utakuwa na una mtu wa kuchapa na wewe pia umechapisha watu, unamchapisha nini? Basically we need mature politics in our country. That's all I'm trying to tell you, sir.
We've been mature enough to tell you the truth. We've been mature enough to have a stand. The fact that people, somebody does not support Baba, they have got reasons not to support him. The fact that you are supporting...
Okay, who's supporting Baba and for what now?
You know, the reason why you are supporting Baba are not the same reasons why I don't...
Okay, I'm supporting Baba for what?
It's best known for you. I mean, that is what you need to explain to me why you support him.
You see the problem with the problem, and I'm so sorry, sir. But the problem with some of the people like you is that you just want to be against something. Now, nobody's telling Baba, wait, bro. Nobody's telling you guys that Baba, already we've moved out of Kenyan politics, but everybody wants to tell us that, oh, we are supporting Baba. We are not supporting Baba even for any election to come. We are not supporting anything. We are actually now starting to think of other people. But you guys want still push it Baba, because the problem is Baba is oxygen to you. Baba is oxygen with or without breathing. Akinyamaza, oxygen lazima Baba. Akiongea, oxygen lazima Baba. Sasa nani amesema Baba anaendea presidency? Sasa si hata hatuna story huko. You should be talking about Joe, these other people that can actually take over him.
That is up to you, not to me. That is up to you to talk about Joe. If you bring
but
Joe,
you see, if you can't talk about Baba, you have nothing to talk. That's the politics of you guys. If you can't talk about Baba, you have nothing to talk.
No, but you have been talking about Baba all along until he left you to where you have got nothing to talk about right now.
But look at who's the jittered lover right now. Everybody that is talking about Kilanini.
We are just laughing at you because you are confused. You don't know where to go.
Jesus Christ.
No,
dude, man. You say you're politically mature, but you need to mature up on your politics and just move on to some better things. You sound like a jittered kid.
No, I am so.
Yes, you do.
Where I am, and I am happy with what I
take Baba out of. Can you talk politics without Baba?
Sorry? You just mentioned his name.
For the next 10 minutes. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here for the next 10 minutes. Can you not touch Baba anywhere? Now talk politics.
Bring Joe, bring you the politics. I will tell you the politics. Bring any candidate of your stable. I will tell you the politics around.
See, now you're asking me to bring up a topic, but when Baba is... why don't you just talk about politics without Baba?
You already mentioned his name. I have not mentioned his name.
Okay, let's talk politics without Baba.
You've already mentioned his name. I don't mention his name.
You're gonna stick with that?
You see, the thing is, politics is.
Just say you can't. There's nothing to talk about.
You don't. I can do without talking about it. Why should I be talking about it? Unless
let's talk about it. Let's talk about Haiti.
Unless there is an issue. Haiti is gone and dusted. Haiti, they don't have a prime minister. They don't have a government. They don't have. Haiti does not affect me and you directly. Talk about the issues that affect you and me directly. Whatever happened in Haiti is none of our business right now. They don't have a prime minister. Whatever the president of the Republic of Kenya signed with the Haiti president is null and void. The prime minister is null and void. So if Kenyan soldiers were being taken there in your stable, you are saying those are regular policemen, but those are squad. Those are highly trained GSU soldiers who are trained in the UK, Israel, and in the US. Those were the ones who are going to be taken to Haiti. What else do you want to hear about Haiti? Haiti is gone. Haiti, we cannot be debating about it. What I should be asking you
So
is,
are you gonna give the money back to the US?
no, the money has not been released. Which money are you talking about? The
Was
money
received.
was a
It was
proposal.
released. $100 million.
No, the money was, if the money was released to the Kenyan government on about that particular mission, Haitians wanted the government and they wanted this guy to resign. So let us wait and see whether they will have a credible election. If they have a credible election and they elect one of the gangster, that is okay. If they have a civilian coming in as the president, if that is what they want, it is up to the Haiti people and not up to the Kenyan government or you and me. All right. I think that debate is something that we should wait for come to settle down and see what the international community are going to do about Haiti, because this is a new development. The UN did not anticipate that the president is going to to resign. They didn't anticipate that, so it takes them back to the drawing board to think about the next solution for Haiti. But what I
And
say, and my
did you know the guy is indicted with the wife of the late president for them being accomplices of his killing?
I'm not aware of that. I've not read it anywhere. I've not come across it, so I would not comment on something that I have not seen.
Yeah, they're both indicted. Him and the wife, they were part of it. So
Oh,
that's why hii kierere ya hii kijana yenyu mnampenda sana, na the kierere is just not, it's
no,
just put us in a
it's not
place.
like mbona unaiona ni kirere. When somebody is trying to do what he thinks that is good for him, he should not act like you. Yeye ana act yeye. Unajua sisi wote tulizaliwa vitofauti. Kuna ule ni mrefu, kuna ule mfupi, kuna ule ana mbio, kuna ule ni ana mbio, kuna ule mnone kama mimi. I mean, that is life. Kuna ule mwerevu, kuna ule ni mjinga kwa class. Hiyo ni maisha. Kuna ule anakimbia mbio kushinda mwingine. So whatever William Ruto does, I think it is what he feels that is good for the country and good for him as a president. And again, he does not do it just na kierere. He has got advice as well and advice. Presidency is an institution. It is not an individual. Kuna people who are advising the president of the Republic of Kenya. So don't just blame the president. Blame his advisors too. The people who are surrounding him. Wanamwambia aende huko.
I know you will defend him to the core, but let me tell you, kiere ringine bwana, saa zingine sometimes when you, sometimes let me tell you, cowards live long.
Pia mlikuwa tu na kierere hivi. Si mlikuwa tu na hiyo kierere mpaka mkashindwa. So hiyo ni kierere.
Hakuna mtu alishinda chochote, but anyway, we're not going to go that route. I don't want to go to that route. But let me tell you, kierere ingine, it puts your country into a limelight that you don't even understand where you are. Because now you start bringing enemies to your own backyard because kierere kwenda kuruka kila mahali. Sometimes when you see countries that are just zimetulia and they're making treaties pole kazi zimetulia, then you might think they're stupid, but it's because you don't want to have enemies all over. Now, look, walk to Haiti today and say that you're a Kenyan and see what happens. I was talking to my Haitian friend, and it's a she. I met her a long time ago. She lives in New York, and she called me one time, hey, my friend, what's happening here? We went to school with her in Western Michigan. And she was like, what's happening? I mean, I feel bad when people talk about Kenya. My Haitian friends will start talking about Kenya, and I know I'm your friend. I don't even want to tell them that I know a Kenyan friend. So hii kierere ya kuruka sasa mumepitisha hata not even Kenya. Okay, Somali ndo hii hamjamaliza. Ndo hii tena mmeanza kukimbia internationally. You look like there's something you can have. I saw somebody today, a very big congressman, talking about, what do you mean? Kenyan police cannot even take care of Nairobi. and then you're telling them to go to Haiti. Listen, my brother, I think you're a smart guy. Najua uko na mautu zako zenye you're not happy about. But let me tell you, sometimes just go sit down and just go back to be logical. And just be logical. Think about these things, what you're doing. Because basically now you're creating enemies on yourselves. And this guy is a coward. He thinks this is Pale Rift Valley where he used to be able to piga Wakikuyu alafu ndo wa relax. That's how they go to ICC. He's now thinking that there's something he can do in Africa and maybe threaten anyone. There's nothing. He's a big coward. Ndio anakuwa threaten na vijana, hata kwa mkutano anaanza kuambia wewe kijana, unadhani unaongelesha nani? Na anakani kama anataka kutoroka. Hiyo mkutano ikaharibika hivi kidogo, utaona venye atatoka mbio. Ajiwezi. Basically what I'm trying to say is that, ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time that we start thinking, and this tribal leadership cocoon thing has to end. The reason the other day I asked somebody, kuna mtu kwa hii channel, sijui kama ilikuwa hii channel yako, you were there. I asked them, tell me, of this 8 provinces, which provinces Ruto, I mean, of the old 8 provinces, just to which one he won. And I'm telling you, you will not even find 2. Wanasemanga tu Rift, alafu wanasema Central hivi hivi. And when you look at the population, there's nothing. And that's why I'm saying, with someone who's smart like you, Mzalendo, I believe you can be a good leader. But again, what I do believe is that you have to start actually looking at it, not even theoretically, but just looking at it from a standpoint of the truth and everything that is happening. Why is these people cannot even go and stand kwa vijiji zao and say anything? Wakienda huko wanaongea kitu different from what they're doing in parliament. You see, and at the end of the day, it's not about Mzalendo gets his own way, I get my own way. For me, I stand for Kenya, that I don't have to be outside the country. And other people do not have to leave the country, but actually they can have people come inside their country. And Kenya can be one of those biggest countries that we have. But the moment we have standoffs and we are not looking at it straight to where it is, and we cannot even give it out the same way you had when Baba started saying kuna mtu anaenda anasema huko, kwani Baba ataenda uji huko na tuko na mtoto wetu hapa Uhuru. Now you look at that and you see the stupidity and backwardness of a country. What is Uhuru atakuleta nini kwa nyumba yako? Anyways, I don't want to talk too much. I know you were closing, nimekuja tu haraka haraka because you were asking me na nimewashwa kuwashwa. Juko ni Julia amehepa.
Umefanya vizuri. Julia has been here for the longest time. Umefanya vizuri kukuja, instead of umevent ukasema yako yote. Umesema yako yote.
Na sitaacha.
Unajua Mato, acha nikwambie. And when you see me talking politics, I've grown up in politics all my life. Everybody in my family is a politician, and some are even have been leaders. Some are even them. Some are iwezi pita hata mwaka moja kabla uja mention jina moja ama wawili in the political circles. But let me tell you, being in politics, there are things that I understand, being outside and being inside. Where you are at the moment, supporting your preferred candidate, I've been there. I've been there. I've been deep down there, strategizing and doing all even the dirty work. So I've graduated from my youth, from a bouncer, from a bodyguard, to the same man that you support. So I have known a bit of politics in that game. My stand, what I stand for now moving forward, is a bit different from what I stood for in 1997 when I started joining politics. It's a bit different from where I am. Have I matured in politics? Yes, I have. I have matured a lot in politics to understand that politicians, the most important thing is what they take home. That is the most important thing. I have matured to understand each and every political candidate, from Kibaki to Raila, to Uhuru to now William Ruto. Why I'm on this other particular side? This other side gives me hope. Gives me hope that this country can be better. On that side where you are, I don't see any hope that there will be a better country. So you could be comfortable where you are with believing in the ideologies that are there. But where I am, I believe that there is a transition that is coming, that anybody can become the leader of the Republic of Kenya without looking at tribe, without looking at where somebody comes from. What does this opportunity offers us in terms of tribal politics? Because you've mentioned Kikuyus and all that. Kikuyus, this man Ruto has managed to get votes from the Kikuyu community. An electoral college that could not vote for anybody from another tribe. That tells you a lot. That tells you a lot. Is he done with? Did he get votes in Nyanza? Yes, he did. You are told in places like Nyamira, he won. Those are places that could not be flipped. You just laugh, but those records are there. That is a gentleman who was telling you who comes from Nyamira, and it gave you the numbers. He won. So those are the things that tells you that when I was with you on the other side, I told you one thing. Cost. You will
Mzalendo,
win. You will win. You will win. You
you
will
just
win. Cost. You will win, but you will not win with the majority. You will be cut. Kama mlikuwa mnashindana
Mzalendo, this is what
100,000,
I'm going to tell you, and
kama
I'm not
mlikuwa
trying.
mnashindana 100,000, atapata 80,000 yake rasmi. That is the
Okay,
thing.
I'm not trying to be ignorant or anything, but the thing is that one of the things that I can tell you is that I understand you've been in politics. I grew I was born in it. You know people just like you said, but that's not my cup of saying. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the one thing I hate as I grew up, the one thing I hate is having facts turned to be superficial. Listen, there is facts, and maybe I think you might have my number. Send me your email. Your email. I'll give you the factual numbers, and they are known. They are there, and that's why I don't believe this thing of unless Ruto has seen God or something for the first time. But I know Ruto very well since hata nikiwa mtoi. Like I always say, na sita hajadanganya, endo kamwambie he killed my uncle. I know him. So, but unless you can tell me otherwise that maybe ameokoka, I don't even believe this opening server, the audit. I don't even believe that he's really legit with it, because if he's legit with it, it will show him that he got 3 million votes, and that I can tell you even where they came from. We sat here for 2 damn good weeks.
If you didn't have agents, you will not
Agents
have
don't vote, my friend. And they will,
people.
if it's no, don't give me that crap. By the way, I respect you.
If
Don't
if
give me
you
that crap.
if
Agents
you
don't
if
vote.
you if you don't have results from each and
Agents do
every
not vote.
if you don't
Then it's
have if
banned.
you don't have results from each and every polling state,
We
not even
have
polling
those
station,
results.
Yes,
And
those are the results that
Mzalendo,
you asked. Those
Mzalendo,
are the results you
don't be
asked.
silly.
Even those uliulizwa pale kwa Supreme Court and you didn't have them.
Don't be silly, Mzalendo. Agents do not
No,
vote.
no, I am asking you. You have the results. Weka results.
Why do we have IEBC then if agents are the ones who are going to dictate what it is? I mean, are you seriously talking like this? Hata mtoto wa nursery school hazi venye unaongea Buddha. Nastaki ni kudharau.
In 1997, Baba had agents when he was running for the presidency.
So what does agents do with it? Why do we have IEBC?
The following year, he still had agents. The
Dude,
Yakibaki
that's the dumbest, that's the dumbest argument I've ever had in my life.
No, kwa nini alikuwa na agents hiyo time?
Then disband the IEBC then.
No,
It doesn't work if it needs agents.
Why did Baba have agents there in the previous election and this one he decided not?
So if me and you go head on head, I mean we do whatever, and then if you have agents, so you automatically win.
Huh?
What the heck? Usinifanye niongee matope na nimeokoka around you.
I don't want you to get annoyed. I want you to use your head to
No, you use your head. What are agents doing? How many votes does an agent come with?
Boss, I have told you, and we have repeated this.
Who voted, the agents or the people that went to vote?
This is what Smoking Wanjala asked. Show me.
I don't care what they asked. I care about the votes.
That is what the
anybody
law is.
can ask anything. Who's Smoking Wanjala? Jesus, God, or Satan?
You're arguing like a Trump supporter. Trump supporters were saying that
I don't care if I'm a Trump supporter. I'm just trying to say.
No, let me give you the clear analysis or a clear comparison.
But don't give me crap about agents. Agents don't come with votes.
Trump supporters were saying that elections were stolen. Yeah. In fact, he gave $5 million for anybody who can come up with the ways mathematics stole his elections. Mathematics.
Yeah, and what happened to them? They're in court today. They realized everybody was lying.
Those lies you are peddling around here is what made them being jailed.
When you
those lies you are peddling around here.
I can't have a decent conversation with you. No, I can't have a decent conversation with you because I'm not gonna fall into yours. I can't fall into your dictionary. Listen, I am one unbreakable person. You will never break me. Hizo propaganda zako peleka mbali na mimi. Agents don't vote.
Weka facts.
Nimekuwekea facts. Alipata 3 million.
Hizo ni
na agents wako vote. Hata kama kulikuwa na agent ama hakukuwa agent, ndio waliiba. Ndio unasikia Sudi leo akisema tulimuibia. Unasikia kina Sudi wanasema leo. Wewe kwela kabisa Saitan. Mimi siwezi. Sorry, siwezi anguka kwa hiyo trap yako. Sorry man. We'll try another one. Mimi I'm unbogable. Mimi ni kichwa mbaya, that's why I call myself mkora because mimi ni mkora na siwezi kubali. Hiyo tafuta watu wengine. Funga channel. Kwaheri, enda ukalale uamke tena ukuje tena bado nitakuchapa tena kesho. Mimi ni mtu mbaya.
Unahepa, wewe hepa tu.
Hakuna kitu nahepa, nakwambia ukweli. Kwanza you need to go sleep with the devil.
Hiyo 3 million will haunt you for the rest of your life. Utakuwa
ni wewe ndio itahaunt. He will eat you more than me. Remember James Orengo? Remember James Orengo saying
what? At the system, that nonsense in anakula pesa ya Wajaluo.
He will eat you more than he will eat me. Ngoja wewe kwanza wewe. Wewe ndio utakula. Hebu ndio usimame tena. Enda wacha sasa hiyo nomination. Enda usimame tena uone utarudi hapo ujiwezi. Enda usimame tena. Kwanza wewe huwezi pata kitu yoyote. Especially when unaongea.
Pia jaribu tu usimame. Wacha kukuja.
Mimi nachukua asubuhi mapema.
Unachukua wapi? Enda usimame.
Kamudanga huko Machakos mimi napita nayo hata si campaign.
Kuja tu enda tu
no campaigning, kwanza naenda independent Saitan.
Enda Machakos uende na ODM huko ni Wiper, uende na ODM uone kama
mimi siwezi kuwa Wiper, mimi nakaa kama mtu wa Wiper.
So unataka kuenda Machakos uende uchukue na wipe na ODM. Oh my
Mi
God.
nachukua hata na jina yangu peke yake tu. Anyways, hebu acha mi nilale. Wewe endelea na uongozi wako, continue with your lies, endelea kudanganya watu hapa.
Viewers, thank
Kwa
you very
heri.
much. Mato, thank you very much for coming to the station. We love your sentiments. We don't agree with some of those things that you're saying. Those are your own personal views, personal feelings about the stolen elections. There were no elections which were stolen. If you had those facts, if you had those numbers, you would have taken them to court. For now, I think it is irrelevant even to talk about the elections because Baba himself has acknowledged that William Samoei Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya. So wewe unaweza baki tunapiga kelele hapa na hakuna mahali yoyote hiyo kelele itakupeleka. Viewers, thank you very much for being part of this discussion. And we hope to see you again same time. Leo will be here in the morning to give you the newspaper review. And kama kawaida tukutaneni tena same time. Let me acknowledge those guys who have been keeping us company on the comment section. Carol, asante sana, nimeona comment yako. And inspire women, you can't argue with mzalendo. Yeah, hapa lazima kuja na facts, kuja na stories za jaba, tutakurudisha nyumbani. Come with the facts, we will give you the facts. If you come with the lies, we will debunk those lies. Hapa ni hot seat, tunaona Mato anaingia na kuhepa mara moja. So hapa ni moto, kuja na uongo, tabaenda tuko na mauongo. Good year. Thank you kabisa. Thank you very much for being part of the discussion and keeping the comment session engaged kabisa. And Mato mkora Mkenya, mkora Mkenya wakora hatuwezi wapatia uongozi. Wewe ukishajiita mkora hivyo hatuwezi kupatia uongozi huko Macha pale unatafuta kiti. So Mato anatafuta kiti huko Machakos, anaitwa mkora, mpatieni kiti, anakuja na kama inaitwa ODM. Muda wa kamba ndio watajua kama watapatia Mato kura. Mato, please move on. Mambo ya uchaguzi ilishaisha. Kitambo sana. The politicians themselves have moved on. Wewe umebaki hapo bado nafikiri kura ilibiwa, unangojea sava ifunguliwe. Hata ikifunguliwa ipate mlishinda, so what will happen? That is nothing. So hizo ni stories zingine we cannot debate now. It's just a waste of taxpayers' money, just as we've been saying. I wish you would have come here. We discussed the NADCO report, if it affects me and you. But I really sympathize because most of Azimio supporters are so confused. They don't know where to go right now. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you for keeping company. This week, we are analyzing Sankara. Sankara was the leader of Burkina Faso. This is a selfless leader. These are the kind of people that we want to see in leadership. The kind of salary that he was earning, the kind of measures that he put to ensure that his civil servant and his government had and very, very did not exploit the people. He made sure there were bridges in Burkina Faso. He made sure that there was good healthcare. He ensured that there was free education in that tiny country called Burkina Faso. So we salute this week throughout. We'll be highlighting the young leaders who came to the scene and made a difference. If you're still having hangovers of leadership, listen, go and read the story of Thomas Sankara. Again, we will be talking about Bobby Wine. He's moving towards that direction. So stay tuned to Afrique. Thank you very much, guys, for who have been listening. And please subscribe because we have got a lot of content coming from this station. We have got one of the most popular shows coming this week, the Bed of Roses. Here's a sneak preview of Bed of Roses.
Join us every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for a captivating journey into the world of love, relationships, and romance, presented by the dynamic trio Maggie Knox, MC Jesse, and Annie Waweru. Bed of Roses promises to be your weekly dose of heartwarming stories, insightful discussions, and expert advice on matters of the heart. Whether you're single, in a relationship, or simply love a good love story, this is the show for you. Don't miss out on the chance to unwind and indulge in the joys and challenges of love, all brought to you by our talented hosts. Tune into Africa 24 every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and let us guide you through the enchanting world of Bed of Roses. Subscribe now and mark your calendars. You don't want to miss this. See you there.
We also have Dimba. Dimba comes each and every week on Friday. We analyze the EPL league. We have got young men who analyze for you the EPL league and the results. I don't know game ya Arsenal imetokea aje. Mimi ni shabiki. With that, viewers, we come to an end of this wonderful edition of Political Talk. Until next time, kwaheri ya kuonana.